Sup, nerds? I have a feeling that's way too quiet. The game sounds so quiet. I don't know, though, if that's just the opening cutscene volume or if I'm gonna have to fix that. Hang on, hang on. Yeah, you know what? I think I will actually turn it up in OBS a little bit. Oh, it is so weird streaming at this time of day. Which, like... Well, it is and it isn't. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Put this up to... probably 7. Okay, yeah. With ducking, that should be good. But hopefully if it's too much, either someone will tell me or I will notice. So, yeah. I stream at night. So I'm sure no one is here. It's morning. But it's night for me because my sleep schedule is fucked. I haven't been awake. I've been awake since like midnight. No, 1. I woke up at 1 a.m. So, yeah. It's all out of whack. I'm hoping I can fix it, but it's been so hard for me to stream lately. Like, I had mental health problems, but then, like, I got better with that. But now the problem is that whenever I'm actually awake and alert and I want to stream, it's like some crazy hour of the day. So I'm like, oh, I shouldn't stream because no one will be there. Like, it'll be dead. And it's like, oh, okay, well, fuck it. Who cares? Holy shit, Kadangus. I was literally just saying, I was like, no one will be here. This is going to be a dead stream. Hi. But yeah, it was like, I want to stream this game. I don't want to play it off stream, and I miss streaming in general, but I'm like unconscious or barely conscious during the hours that I normally stream now. It's 1 p.m. for me. Why are you live at 1 p.m.? No, that's the thing. It's my sleep schedule's all messed up. I've, some of you who've been around here long enough recall that, like, I suffer from chronic insomnia spells. I haven't had a bout of insomnia for a long time. And then the past month, it was like, surprise, remember me? So I'm getting a handle on it. It's not as bad as it was when I was younger. I'm not staying awake for 82 hours and hallucinating. But my body is doing this cool thing right now where it stays awake for 24 hours or a little bit more than 24 hours and then crashes and I sleep for 12. So no matter how many times I try to reset my sleep schedule, it keeps flipping. I just keep flipping. So, like, some days I'm awake at night, and some days I'm awake during the day, and, like, I can't get a handle on it. So, even though mentally I feel like I have the energy to stream, I can't seem to make it work at a consistent time. Which is, like, you know, a thing streamers do, you know, have consistent streaming schedules. Consistency who, bitch? Like... Yeah, it's a hip new thing. So, I guess I'm just gonna roll with it, and even though it's going to throw things into disarray and no one will know when I'm live, it'll be like a surprise. I'm just gonna stream when I feel like it. And it's probably gonna be whack. I'll at least give that, like, the Ace Attorney streams on Fridays will at least stay somewhat consistent as long as Daniel and I are both healthy. Daniel is, like, keeping me on track with that because Daniel has consistency and I don't. So Ace Attorney streams shouldn't change much. It should still be, like, late Friday nights, like 10 p.m. to midnight. Eastern Standard Time until the wee hours of the morning. It should stay that way. I think I just live on a 25-hour day because every day I get up later and I go to bed later. Yeah, it was... That is normal for me. The sneaky, like, extra couple of hours throwing me off slowly. Like, that's pretty normal for me. But usually I can reset myself, you know? But boy, howdy, it's not happening for me right now. So, what? I woke up at around 1 a.m. It's 8:10 right now. We'll see if I go to bed anytime this afternoon. Yo, gotcha, man! Well, it's a good thing I'm not alone in the not knowing why I'm awake shenanigans. But yeah, it's been eating at me because, like, I've really been trying to avoid watching other people play this because I want my first playthrough to be as blind as possible. You know, like, I am in this. I do voice a character in this, so I am familiar with parts of the script, obviously. Though it's been a long time since since we recorded those lines. So I probably have forgotten some stuff. But there's a lot of parts that I'm not involved with at all that I don't know much about, and I am excited for it. I thought I'd have an early night a few days ago, in bed all cozy by like 10 p.m. No caffeine all day. Suddenly it's 4 a.m. and I'm still... Dude! Seriously! Like y'all know, like, I'm on the monster rehab thing or whatever, but like, and normally, like, caffeine doesn't really affect me much. But I have been taking special care to avoid caffeine towards the end of my day, because ideally I want to be awake at night, because for voiceover for my job, recording at 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. is like the best time to record, because there's no extra outside noise I have to fight with. Y'all be glad to know that famous side character of this stream, Motorcycle Man, is moving. But still, I want to be awake at night. But like, I'll just be lying in bed for hours. No caffeine, no nothing, all cozy, temperature's perfect, blackout curtains, it's super dark. And then like hours later, I'll just still be sitting there like, anytime now. Unfortunately, it's gotten to the point where I've had to kind of rely on Delta 8 to help me go to sleep. And it works. But then I pass out for a long time and I wake up super groggy. So I don't really like that, and I'm trying to stop doing that so much, but it's hard. It's hard. Yes, caffeine is the way that unmedicated ADHDers kind of cope and self-medicate. I do it all the time. I am medicated, but I still also consume caffeine. My dosage is not quite as high as it should be, but I'm afraid to ask for an increase because of the stigma. Yay! But yeah, it does, I don't know, I think, I don't get like hopped up on caffeine or anything like that. It doesn't really do that to me. It doesn't give me energy, but it can deny you the sleepies. So I do avoid consuming any caffeine, like a few hours before I start to wind down. But my brain doesn't care. My brain doesn't care. So yeah, wait, hang on a second. Let me try and figure out, let me remember where we were. Okay, quick recap, because we've only done one of these streams, and it was like a month ago. This past month was really bad for me, guys. Like, the beginning of last month was, yeah, I'll be transparent. It was probably one of the lowest, I was pretty low mentally. Like, it was bad. It hasn't been that bad in a long time. I am doing much better right now. But it was bad. So it's been a month since I've streamed this. And we just started chapter 5. So Sep blew herself up, blew up the Desert Rose, killed Ral, pretty sure. If I I would be shocked if Ral came back. Like, the Desert Rose is fucking gone. And then but Sep is living currently as, like, in like a flame form. It's like her soul, but that's not the name of it. That's not the terminology. But yeah, it's like, we got Sep's essence to the forge and ran into my baby girl Zhao, who's so cute. Oh, Eka showed up. Be like, hey dude, what the hell? Oh, right, the important things. Okay, the thing that's going on right now that's really not great is we're wanted, obviously, because we were on trial in chapter 3. So, like, if anyone catches us, we're dead. So we're on the run from the law, basically. And the temple we're staying at, which is usually deserted, Zhao has been like going about trying to preach, because that's what she does. Like, this temple has not been used in a long time. Pertok does not care about people coming to the temple to worship. So Zhao shows up and she's like, we got to get people here, like, we got to get people, like, back into the faith, you know? Like, we got to spread the good word, especially now that we brought Sep's essence there. She was like, oh my god, the Jasif, the sun is here. We got to preach the good word. So, like, people are congregating, and the thing is, this is like a Barhan temple, and the Barhan are very oppressed. So these people, I don't know how familiar y'all are with, like, how powerful religion can be to incite things like, I don't know, a revolution. But a lot of people are gathering, like, ditching work and showing up and, like, listening to Zhao preach, and it's great. But Adder is like, this is gonna blow up. Like, this isn't... Hope is way more powerful than something like fear. Like, these people aren't just angry. Like, they're in a fervor. It's not gonna go away. It's gonna boil over. And I'm stuck here in the smack dab in the middle of it. And I got the law on one side, like, out to get me, and on the other side I have these beasts that are trying to, like, overthrow the government and eat the rich, because fuck them, right? Like, and Adder is just like, I don't know what to, I don't want any part of this, I don't know what to do. So if I remember right, we just finished up stuff at the temple for the night, and we left to go somewhere. I don't remember if Adder said where he was going. No idea. Okay. Doing it. The moon was absent from the sky that night. Not even a hint of the orange orb that drew the colors away from the dusk skies every night, leaving only the emptiness among the stars watching over Dakna. Oh, that's the other thing, is that when Sep exploded and burned down the Desert Rose, there's an eclipse happening. The sun, like, and that's a huge deal, because Sep is considers herself as the Jasif, which is basically a term that means, like, queen or royalty or goddess. And she's representative of the sun. Like, they call her the sun. So, like, with the sun disappearing, these people are taking it as, like, a sign. It's intense. The religion thing is about to be intense. So yeah, it's super dark right now. Who could be a better companion for the deer walking toward the market tonight than darkness itself? It kindly obscured the view of his hands and his limp as he clung onto his crook, walking with his back straight like an ironing board. It wasn't his first night outside after curfew, and it wouldn't be the last. Okay, it is night, but it wouldn't matter either way since the sun is not out. He knew the right alleys to wander into and the proper way to shuffle past the guards patrolling the streets, but he wouldn't use them today. No, the stag didn't hesitate when he walked into the keep. He knew he was supposed to be there. He deserved to be. The keep? It was everyone else that needed convincing.
Good evening, kind of fellows.
Oh, we're going to see Illigrab, huh? Uh-oh. Illigrab isn't going to help you, baby. Illigrab is the Varys of this universe. He's behind everything. But he plays it so close to the chest that, like, I know this. A, because I am part of this project. And B, because there are a lot of hints for the player early on in past chapters. But, like, he's so smooth with it. No, he's like, beasts? What beasts? What? Who? No response from the guards, lazily looking in his direction. Well, I guess we do look different than normal. Still, he must have done a decent job at walking like anyone but himself, for he wasn't stopped a single time on his way to Illigrab's office. Oh. And what for? He thought. I'm about to put everyone's necks on the line. Adder took a deep breath and pushed the tall doors in.
Illigrab, are you in there?
That voice, Adder. Regrettably, as it used to be the case, the tree man was nowhere to be found.
Darn it, turn it on to oblivion. He said he'd be here all day. Stupid metaphors.
It's metaphors, Adder. Oh, by the way, how's the volume? I think it's probably fine, especially with ducking, but I just want to be sure. Before Adder had a chance to curse any other literary resources, the metal gates creaked open once again.
Are you in there?
God damn it. This is exactly the #1 motherfucker that we do not want to recognize us. He's literally the guy that put us on trial. But thankfully, I think he's a bit of a himbo. A muscular man with a bandaged head and a comparatively meek gazelle by his side strolled in, paying absolutely no heed to the yellow deer whose blood they had curdled into pudding.
Gods, how could a tree be this hard to find? He is a tree, damn it! Why does he even need an office if he never uses it?
You know, good point. Through my years, it's fine. Sweet, awesome, thank you.
We should have him move to the garden. Wouldn't you be happier in the garden if you were a tree?
I don't believe I'm qualified to answer such a troubling question, sir.
Ooh, it's been a long time since I've heard Vomit. I forgot how much I like their voice.
Well, someone has to be. You, the deer over there, who are you? Are you the gardener? I don't recall authorizing Illigrab to hire any gardeners.
No, I am someone, of course. By ye gods, I am. But thou must not have heard of me. I am the one who is known as Adderson of the Upper Field?
Oh my god. So that's okay. This whole time, we were supposed to be learning how he became a famous knight, but I'm like slowly suspecting that it was just bullshit the whole time. And this pretty much confirms it. Adder turned around very briefly to scream into his hands.
How dare you think me so foolish? Of course I have heard of you. Sir Upperfield! Forgive me for being so uncouth. I wasn't aware that we would have a distinguished guest among us tonight.
I love this motherfucker. He's so stupid.
Babbitt! Why wasn't I informed of this visit?
I would have had to be made aware of it first, sir.
Look at Vomit. He's like, this... Vomit had the same exact response that I did.
No, it ain't like... My good sir, please spare your friend any unpleasant trees. It's not his fault.
Nice wordplay.
I visited without announcing to speak to an old friend.
You were waiting for Illigrab? Ha! You would fare better trying to find the fabled thornless syllabum in the ridges of Beermacassin. If you've had the misfortune of making an appointment with that tree, you may as well consider your time lost. Where did I leave my manners? Here you are wasting your precious time, and yet I laugh. My judgment must yet remain impaired after the dangerous battle I fought today. To think my demise could have arrived so suddenly, so dishonorably.
Wait, I don't remember what we did. Was that us? Did we mess up? I don't remember what we did after the trial. I mean, we booked it, but like I don't remember like decking him or anything. Adder puckered his cheek. He had thoughts he couldn't afford to think.
But enough about me. I noticed a certain foreign cadence as you spoke, Sir Upperfield. Whence may your accent be?
Well, it may be right here at this moment, but its origins lie in your green and distant lands of Chantre.
I reckon he lost a fight with a wall or something. Yeah, no, that would track.
Is that true? Then you may have met... No, it couldn't be. You're far too young.
Oh, I thought he was literally about to be like, maybe you met that rogue that dashed on me earlier today.
It couldn't be. But it is, my friend. I know who you ask about, and I did know the late Lord Umar well. I
Oh,
watched him fight many a battle against the moving forests. Your father gave me more than I'll ever be able to return.
see, this is what I mean. I forgot straight up that Adder knew Elbar's dad. Adder put a hand on Elbar's shoulder in a reassuring way. He only realized his mistake because his fucking hands when the knight turned his face towards it. Fortunately for him, Sir Askadath was entirely too moved to notice the extraordinary size of the hand patting him. They are very distinctively huge.
This is truly a fateful meeting! Oh, what a caring soul I found when I thought myself most alone! Forget the old shrub you came to see. Please, join me in my palace so that we may feign toast to our newfound friendship!
No thanks.
Oh, I mean, I couldn't possibly, sir. I got very hurried matters to discuss with Mr. Buntalos, and I've heard of the troubles you got yourself into with a fellow countryman of mine.
The way that he's delivering these lines, it reminds me of in She-Ra, when Adora is trying to pretend to be a student for Bo's parents. She's like, ah, yes, at the academy.
Right
Fuck.
you are, my
Sorry.
friend. I cannot afford myself any time to rest. Not until I find him. I know that wretched one-eyed scoundrel must have been involved in the fire today. A single look at his face is enough to... What sort of drivel am I spouting? Please, forgive my lack of decor. It's only his politeness that is wretched. Yours extols
Stop!
your virtues and makes you seem all the mightier a warrior, Sir Upperfield.
All is forgiven except age, Sir Askadath.
Oh, he's incredible.
Such wisdom you hold in spite of your youth. But please, let me make amends with you all the same. I shall listen to your request in lieu of Illigrab, so that you may continue your business anon.
I'm afraid these words are for Mr. Buntalos' ear holes only.
Ah, yes. Secrets are the currency of us better born, are they not? I hope there shall come the day you may open your heart to me as well.
I wonder what he actually sought Illigrab out for.
I must insist, however, that it would not be wise for you to loll about waiting for the tree man. Go in peace, my friend. I shall let him know you wish to hear back from him.
Mighty grateful, Sir Askadath. I will go and take my leave then.
Yes, yes. It's high time we all return to our duties. Damn it! Write Sir Upperfield's contact information and bring me my polish when you're done!
Adder and Vomit were left alone in Illigrab's ample office.
In case there was any doubt, you have not fooled me for a second, Sir Upperfield. I would like to believe Sir Askadath may have seen through your deceit as well, were he not quite so intoxicated from the pain soothers resulting from your little...
Oh, he's also... Okay, he is a himbo, but it's a little bit... It's not quite as absurd. He's also drugged up. Understandable. Have a nice day. Oh god, Bommet's voice is so good. I was gonna wait until, because I'm gonna gush over everyone who is in this game, like, because everybody is so good. Why am I in this with so much talented people? But I was gonna wait till until the session was over and then look up the voice cast, but like Bommet is like so good. Hang on. I need, hang on. Who are you? I want to know, please. Josie D. Sumner. Outstanding. Imposter syndrome, Gopher. Yeah, you know what? How dare you say something that's completely accurate? For real though, I am such a fan of everybody in this cast, like crazy. Like, oh my god. Especially now, the voice actor for Lynn, they are, like, I think I mentioned this last time, but they're in that, Zelda CDI spin-off inspired game that just dropped recently. They voiced the main character, and it's so good. Like, all I hear is Lynn, but like, I'm just, you're so talented. Help.
Rest assured that I have
I want to play that game, actually.
dealing with the aftermath of this situation, so I would rather appreciate it if you could make yourself scarce and remain hard to find. For my sake and yours.
Yeah, noted. Definitely, you'll never see me again. But yeah, as soon as I have disposable income again, that game's on my list, by the way. We're gonna play that eventually. Me and Jeremy will probably play it together, because Jeremy, I don't know if y'all know this, but Jeremy is a huge fan of the Zelda CDI games. Well, two of them anyway. One of them, because they get a bad rap, the Unholy Triforce, honestly. Like, Faces of Evil, is not bad. It has, I mean, they have issues with, like, the platforming and such, like, but there's a mod out there that, like, fixes some of the gameplay problems, and it's fine. Like, it's fun, it's charming, the music bangs. But the only one, the one, oh, fuck, I can't remember which one it is. The one that's completely different looking from the other two. That one is unforgivably bad. That one's terrible. I think you play as... Do you play as Zelda in that one? No, that's Wand of Gamelon, right? Fuck, it's been a minute. One of them is particularly unforgivably bad, but the other two are okay. The other two are fine.
Yeah, I guess I live in the Temple of Hero now.
Duly noted. I shall look for Sir Upperfield everywhere but there.
Hey, before I get, you wouldn't happen to see a red deer somewhere around here? About this big, horns bigger than my hands, always wears a hat.
Oh, we're looking for Gyoff. Okay.
If you are asking if I have seen such a deer in the dungeons, I most definitely haven't. If we were to speak about an honored guest residing in Sir Oscadoth's quarters, on the other hand...
Oh, Gyoff. I don't know why I'm surprised. Adder mouthed a silent, oh.
Well, that's one worry off my mind then. Thanks for everything, Mr. Bammett. See you never.
Have a good life.
Adder walked with as much of a spring in his step as he could afford, given his condition. Yeah, we're super messed up right now, by the way. The clothes kind of hide it, but, like, I think one of our hands is, like, broken. Like, we're messed up. I think we technically died. The fickle rush of adrenaline and self-satisfaction from the extremely rigged battle of wits with Sir Ascadoth soon came undone in the dark streets. The acute awareness that our false knight would not have survived any other kind of battle with a broken hand and a few fractured ribs followed him wherever he went. He tried to pick up the pace, only to realize he couldn't even run. Adder had been an anxious wreck for as long as he could remember. His threadbare nerves had done him much good in the city, and fear was certainly nothing new. But he'd always felt quite confident in his ability to run from every problem in his life. He's got that JoJo family secret down pat. He'd never known horror quite like now. I can read. Every star seemed like a pair of hungry eyes. Every lantern, a fire about to swallow the city whole. By the time Adder arrived at the temple, he'd been clenching his fists for so long that his dull hooves had managed to bruise his palms. Oh, I know that feel, actually.
I'm back.
No response. Hi, Sep. Adder pushed the blanket he'd half-nailed to the doorway as a makeshift door to the forge, and made his way in. Zhao was nowhere to be found. This was enough to set Adder's brain back into overdrive. A million possibilities pelted his insides, from the morbid to the mundane. He darted across the first floor, desperately looking for a hint of a whole new tragedy. She's fine. Aww. Is she sleepy? Just as he was about to start screaming for the priestess, he found her tiny, motionless body. He barely managed to choke down a sob as he caught her chest rising in a long sigh. Oh, if you hear a cat crying, that's just Beans. Lilith gets lonely in the middle of the day because nobody's out there. She's like, where is everyone? I'm all alone. I would let her in here if I wasn't convinced that she would try to chew on the cords or get into places that she shouldn't. She didn't see... Oh, Zhao was sleeping quietly in a corner of a long abandoned kitchen, buried in a pile of books that had at some point collapsed over her. She didn't seem the slightest bit concerned about the dust and the dreadful amount of spiderwebs all around her. Oh, she's been researching this whole time to, like, help find a way to get set back in her body, I think. I remember us talking about that briefly. She was like, I don't know how to do that, but I can... There's a lot of books in here in the temple about, like, Barhead magic and all that stuff. What is about cats named Beans and causing mischief? Well, technically her name is Lilith, but before we decided to name her Lilith, we couldn't figure out what to name her for the first couple months we had her, and we just started calling her Beans and then never stopped. So she's eternally confused about her name because we just keep calling her Beans and Lily and Lilith, and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, she's... I mean, she's a baby. She's only, like, she's, like, barely an adult. She's, like, 2 or something like that. So she's lonely and she's spunky, and what she really wants is for someone to play with her. But our other cats are all old, and they don't want to play. I'm so scatterbrained. Like, this is not new, even when I stream at night. But I clearly need to get more caffeine in me. Did I take my meds? Yes. Yes, I did. Her new clothes lay neatly folded over her lap, next to a small stack of raw potatoes clearly meant for her translator. We're in a kitchen! I didn't even realize the temple had a kitchen, and y'all are just eating potatoes raw? You can, I mean, they'll be bland as fuck, but you could at least, like, cook them. Actually, I think I do remember a point where potatoes get cooked. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe that's about to happen. I don't know. Adder couldn't even afford the mental space to feel hungry anymore. Restlessness took it all. He looked around one last time, hoping to expel any creatures hiding in the rafters with a mean glance. Once half satisfied with his examination, he sought his peace in the gentle flame hiding inside the forge. The smell of rose and almonds and that cloyingly sweet perfume Sep always wore beckoned him. It made him feel at home. Oh, she still smells like her perfume. My cats are like 7 or 8 now, and 2 of them just commit big slep all day, while one of them is still a neurotic goblin. Yeah. Yeah. Baphomet and Casca are around 7 or 8-ish. And Link is 14. I don't like thinking about that because he's my son. But he's very healthy. Maine Coons are a very hardy breed, so aside from the fact that I can't seem to get his appetite where it should be, He is eating, but not as much as I would like. He's lost a lot of weight over the years, but he's very healthy for a 14-year-old.
Hey, Sip. I went out looking for Illigrab, but guess what? I ran into Lord Snotty Snout instead. And whoo boy, Miss Rochelle sure did a number on him like you wouldn't.
Oh, that's how his head got messed up. It wasn't us at all. See, I was like, I don't remember us messing him up. It was Rochelle, like, slammed him over the head with something from behind to knock him out. Her one good deed. That's unfair, but still.
He was more hammered than his sword, talking to me all like, Sir Upperfield, my good friend, come drink with me in my palace. I says to him, I say, as if I'd rather drink my own
Yeah, he did. He did lose a fight with an inanimate object. She did jump him. And as much as I love a lot of things about Rochelle's performance, and I understand and sympathize with some things about her as a character, I still don't like that bitch, and I'm not that sad that she's dead. Damn, Kemi, that was brutal. Anyway, Adder looked back. There was a priestess just next door. He couldn't possibly say such a thing in front of a priestess. Oh, Adder.
So, yeah, big surprise. You were right all along. The second I clean up real nice, everyone's listening to me like I'm suddenly worth a damn.
Yeah, which is annoying. I hate that.
I know you never cared about any of that, but I'll let you get me all the clothes you want when you're back. I'll wear my finest for you every day.
Aww.
You can laugh at me and take them off and get me all tight.
I forgot Adder likes being tied up. Kinky. Yeah, rip bozo. Yeah, that gift, that was me. That was me when Set blew up the desert rose.
Anyway.
Oh, fuck. No, I missed a thing.
Do whatever you want. Whatever makes you happy. I'm waiting for you. Get well soon. I miss you.
Oh, I don't even know if she can hear him, but it's so sweet. What did it say? Adder turned his head back again very quickly. Oh, just to check if Zhao was still sleeping. Adder stayed up as long as he could, observing the flame in silence so as to not wake Zhao up. He lost the staring contest at some point. Voices plagued his dreams. Oh? Oh, come on. We don't get to know what he dreamed about. Being tied up is a surprisingly common desire. It's true. Yeah, no, it's super common. It's one of the most common things there is, I think. That and, like, I know feet is, like, one of the most common fetishes. I don't know what else. My asexual ass just being like, what has Sid told me about kinks and bedroom stuff? Feet gained popularity a lot recently. Oh, come on. I think it's just, like, become a lot more acceptable to take pride in and talk about openly recently. Because, like, there are still people that are like, ew, feet. But, like, even, like, 10 years ago, if you knew somebody who was into feet, it was like hey, look at that weirdo. That guy's into feet. But, like, I think it's always been it's not my thing, but I think it's always been really popular. But people just don't talk about it. But recently I've been seeing a lot of stuff with, this is going to be the stream that I go on a lot of tangents today, I guess. I don't know if you've seen House of the Dragon. If you haven't, you should. It's really good. But there's a scene that is focused specifically on, like, a foot fetish thing in episode 9. And there was a lot of people that were like, ew, but, and it's ew for other reasons. Like, it's creepy, but not because of the foot thing. But I saw a lot of people, like, surprisingly, just coming out and being like, hey, yo, foot fetish, like, representation and stuff. That's awesome. Shout out to feet guys. And I was like, I don't think I've ever really seen that before. There was some study done where fetishes and kinks were directly related to societal taboos of a person's upbringing. So you can tell someone's upbringing and political affiliation from their fetishes. Really? Political affiliation is interesting. Because, like, you know, I'm a gray ace. Like, I'm not sex repulsed. I've had sex, you know, but, like, I don't really care. So, like, I don't mind talking about it. And, like, I'm just like, I don't really have any, like fetishes that I can think about. Yeah, I'm a certified sex haver. It's alright. Sex is mid. And before somebody just pops up and is like, then you just haven't had good sex. No, I have. It's still just mid. But because one of my partners, Sid, is so, like, not only is Sid like a hypersexual person, Sid is interested in learning about fetishes, even if they're not things that he's into. So, like, I learn a lot of things through Sid. Y'all know, like, when we streamed together, we would have that conversation all the time. I've never thought about it, though, in the context of political affiliation. And I'm like, I kind of want to read that study. Also, I have not seen this Jesus Super Bowl ad, and I don't know if I want to, but I'm kind of curious as to what you're talking about. Anyways, hang on, let me ruminate on that and take some caffeine in me, and then I will continue. I should probably progress to a point where there's music again, though. It's not just dead air forever. The morning skies brushed over the darkness of the new moon, painting the world in bright hues of yellow and purple. Sunbeams delivered from wait, hang on. I know Z's are THs. So it would be Baitate? Or is that in... wish Maxie was here so I could... Because my brain wants to say Baitate, but I don't think that's right. Into the forge through the narrowest crevices, just to poke at her right in his one eye. The ex-smith apprentice stretched his body, yowling in pain all the while. He clicked his tongue, scratched his tail, and turned his head towards the sound of bubbling water nearby. Adder made his way into the kitchen, where he encountered a goat quietly preparing some breakfast tea.
Morning.
Tuck, I take it you didn't go to bed either.
No, I just
Longer jaw-breaking yawn.
kind of crashed back there. By the way, if anyone asks, I'm Sir Upperfield now. You can still be Jow. No worries.
Zhao sent a strange look in his direction. She didn't have nearly enough tea in her body to start addressing that statement, so she just let it be. I was literally about to say, like, Adder just saying this with no context and not explaining himself at all is such a me when I first wake up thing to do.
It really pains me to say this, but I think I've hit a wall in my research.
Oh, crud, I hate hitting walls. Hey, you mind passing the tater plate?
Zhao needed a moment to understand that Adder was talking about the potatoes in front of her. She pushed the plate in Adder's direction and planted an open book on the table between them.
I believe I have a good enough grasp of the underlying teachings behind the accounts I've read. But many interesting leads are buried under walls of alchemical texts that I can't make tails or heads of.
Alchemical text, you say?
Darn, that's a whole lot of sep talk if I heard some. So much for being a mind reader, right?
After studying it with uncalled for attention, Adder popped an entire raw potato into his mouth as usual. Okay, yes, I do remember this scene. Even the, like, there's some scenes that I read that I'm not in, that I read them somehow still, and I was like, oh yeah. Because I love potatoes, and I think that it's unholy for Adder to be just eating potatoes raw. How dare you? And I'm pretty sure that Zhao is me in this scenario. As usual for Adder, I mean, Zhao was perplexed at the sight. Well, I'm not perplexed, I'm offended.
I do not mean to look down upon your customs, Ada, but is it common in your land to eat potentially poisonous potatoes? Raw?
Oh yeah, they can be poisonous, huh?
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, back home, I was the one who handled the cooking, and then I went to Ford, and the cooks always handed out the rations, and then I figured out I ain't got no clue how food works, and a real nasty temper on the side, and...
That's true, Aina does not. Potatoes, though... Hang on a second, I need to find my lip gloss. My lips are so dry. And I'm like starting to chew them and I'm like, first of all, that probably looks disgusting with the webcam, but also like I'm gonna make my lips bleed. I know a few people that where even having transcendent sex wouldn't make them want more. Yeah. Thank you for understanding. Because yeah, that's basically how it is. Like, it's great and all, like, awesome. But is it something that like I go out of my way to do or think about? No. Like, not ever. Not ever. It's just, you know, I could be doing so many other things. Hang on. Let me find my... Where the hell is my lip gloss? Hello? The fuck did I put it? What? Okay. No, that's toothpaste. Huh? Why do I have toothpaste in here? Oh. It's over here, dummy. Shit, oh fuck, when the music started playing again, there was something I was going to say, and I forgot entirely. I was like, I'll just hold on to that until I get to a point where there's background music, and then I'll go into what I was gonna say. I have forgotten entirely. The ADHD is strong today. I swear I took my meds. I'm sure that, cause like, I love everybody that comes in here, by the way, but like, I also know that there's I've noticed there's like two distinctive groups of sudsies, right? There are y'all that come into like, actually, there's technically three, but I don't speedrun anymore. Like, there are people that were like, they came in for the speedrunning stuff, and they just love speedrunning, and I love speedrunning, but like, I've been thinking of picking it back up again, but I just, you know, whatever. But, like, there are the people that are, like, here to, like, watch the gameplay. And then there are the people that love the conversation tangents and whatever. And, like, the game is, like, not important to them at all. So, like, I miss, despite, you know, like... I know that sometimes it's frustrating for people, because I've been told this before. Sometimes it's frustrating for people to watch back on VODs or something, and I take, like, super long tangents, like, multiple times a stream, and don't progress the game for, like, not even just a few minutes, for, like, 15 solid minutes at a time. And they're just like, the game, though. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And I understand that. But the thing I love the most about streaming is, especially when I have someone like Sid or Daniel here, is like getting into these conversations and then having y'all there and like getting into the conversation. Like I follow a bunch of other streamers that I love, especially like Rummy. I love Rummy. Rummy the Boss. She's a VTuber. And she always does like, when the stream starts, just chatting for a while, like for like an hour before any game is played sometimes. And I was like, I want that. That's what I want. But when I'm by myself, you know, we fell in and out of streaming so much that it's not as common to like start a stream and have people be in there right away. It usually takes a while for people to come in. So I would just be sitting here ranting to myself. But I would love to have streams where I could just go on tangents about stuff I'm really interested in at the moment, you know? Because I have really intense interests. like special interests. Hi, I'm autistic, by the way. Happy Autism Awareness Acceptance whatever month. It's me. I have like really intense interests, and usually I don't have very many people to share those interests with. So it was like, if I had a thing where I could just like go on tangents about like, I don't know, the symbolic language in A Song of Ice and Fire, or the potential theories about season 2 of Has Been Hotel, or like how the people who are angry at the end of Steven Universe didn't really understand what Rebecca Sugar was trying to tell with the diamonds. You know, like I could go on for a long time about stuff like that. And it would be nice sometime if I like got to a point, like I don't really care about being a partnered streamer. This is no way this is ever gonna be my full-time job, but I would love to like just have like a little group of people that we could just get into it about stuff, you know? One of my friends recently went on a hyperfixation to work out whether all the males he knew would have been drafted into various wars. Oh yeah, that's like a kind of common hyperfixation for certain like people, like history stuff, and getting into like specific wars and whatnot. Which I just channel into fantasy instead. But you know, like A Song of Ice and Fire is based. It's a first of all, I just ended that sentence. It is based. It's a fantasy, like a low magic fantasy setting, but it's based on real historical events. Like the main series of A Song of Ice and Fire is loosely based. The War of the Five Kings is based on the War of the Roses, which I'm not that familiar with English history. But yeah, it's based on the War of the Roses. You know, like House Lannister, the Lancasters, House Stark, House York, you know? So, and a lot of the other themes throughout the series are based in, like, actual real-world mythology. And stuff like that. So, like, oh my gosh, the amount of times that, like, themes of like Odin and Ragnarok and all that stuff pop up, it's insane. In the books, the show didn't really understand any of that shit and just threw it all out the window. So I really don't like the show anymore. I really don't. I love the actors, but I can't recommend Game of Thrones in good faith to anyone anymore, because it's just, when you take away how great the performances are from the actors, it's not good. It's just not good. It's a super shallow, super poor copy of the books, all the way from season 1, episode 1, and I will die on that hill. House of the Dragon is good, and I will fight people, and have, and am still currently fighting people about it. Oh, that's right, because you do live across the pond, so you probably know a lot more about the War of the Roses than I do, because all that I know about the War of the Roses is basically from those books, which is like a loose interpretation, you know? I used to live like 100 meters from the bloodiest battlefield of British history. That's intense. I live pretty close to an important battlefield too, but it's not one that I'm proud of, because I live in the South. You can guess what kind of battles were fought here and what they were fought for, and I don't like it. Okay. That was, again, another, like, 15-minute long tangent, and that doesn't progress the story of this game at all. But, sorry, guys. That's just me. That's just how I be.
You just assumed that preparing dishes would always be someone else's problem, and you prefer to get used to bad meals rather than do something about them yourself because it was too much work.
I feel kind of called out by this, actually, Joe.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Like, that's literally just me. You will find me in the kitchen at, like, 3 a.m. just stuffing a block of cheese in my mouth, and I just won't cook. Yep, I'm North Carolina. Oh, okay, so Jeremy follows that person. I Good, then I'll find that through Jeremy then. I'm so interested in that, and I kind of want to talk to Sid about it. Gosh, I don't even think Sid is awake yet, but I was like, I miss those conversations with Sid like a lot.
Ingrate!
Yes. Get mad.
What misery it must have been for our son to be wed to a riding slacker like you! You can't expect everyone to provide for you and then criticize their work!
I feel attacked, but also when it comes to potatoes, she's right, and I support her.
Repent for all the delicious tubers you've wasted! Repent!
Repent! You better repent! Before Adder even had the time to open his mouth to apologize to the as yet non-existent god of the underground produce, Zhao pried his good hand open and placed a potato in it.
Wash that potato, peel it, cube it, boil it, bury the unpeeled ones under ashes, skewer those bits with a stick and roast them. Salt, salt, salt!
Salt, salt, salt!
You can't just let life carry your dead weight through the stream. Seize the chances you're given and make the best out of them.
You could have been doing this the whole time, Adder. Cooking a potato is actually pretty easy, dude. Come on.
Yes, chef.
Now eat. Eat while it's hot. How is it?
Wait, don't burn your mouth.
Very frothy.
That's the taste of agency. Remember it.
Oh, I do.
Of course you don't. You're used to the safety of your puny, tasteless raw potatoes of conformity. The taste of agency
Zhao took a bite and cringed. Oh no.
is an acquired one.
So you just can't cook either, huh?
How did you mess that up?
I had to learn on the way here.
Oh. Are they not cooked all the way, or what? Zhao and Adder sobbed quietly while they ate their oversalted potatoes. Oh no, bullshit. Y'all are just weak. Y'all are weak. There's no such thing as an oversalted potato. No such thing.
What's all this ruckus in the morning?
Weak.
Mr. Pertalk, sir. We were just cooking some breakfast.
Sack of gluttonous rakefires. Who paid for this meal?
I did?
A likely story.
The merchant felt his way around the kitchen with his cane, seemingly looking for something. The matter of Adder's expulsion, perhaps, as that seems to have been misplaced somewhere in the night. Oh yeah, he did try to kick us out.
Would you like to join us, Sia?
No. I just thought I'd find my daughter loitering around with you.
Oh yeah, no, she's not here. The old man made to head back in the direction of the staircase. He raised an eyebrow toward the forge before he left.
Give that child something to eat, too. She must be starving.
Huh. Well, I mean, in fire form, I guess we give her more wood. Unless it's like a calcifer from Howl's Moving Castle thing. God, that breakfast looked so good. The eggs and bacon that they... Miyazaki is, like, incredible at food. God, it looked so good. I ate breakfast, but now I'm hungry again. Pertok left for his tower without another word. Adder stayed staring at the doorway for a while after his old master left.
Huh. That's different.
What is?
Mr. Pertalk, he's less... Never mind. I feel like he'll come back and scream at me if I say it.
He's less of an asshole to you? I mean, he's so mean towards Sep, but I feel like he really actually kind of pities her and has a bit of a soft spot for her. Pertok is, in my opinion, misunderstood. A lot of people don't like him because he's mean to everyone. He's a grumpy, grouchy old man. First of all, I don't know if they're going to get into this in the game. I have it mixed up in my head that whether or not it's like lore that I know because the dev told me, or if it's going to be explained in scenes in this chapter. Pertok has reasons to be so angry. He can't help it. And also, like, he cares in his own way. Also, he's badass, in my opinion. Zhao didn't even make an attempt to question him further. She made a little pile out of the cutlery and looked at the potato peels left on the dishes in a way that could only politely be described as utter disgust.
You think he meant getting her an actual tater? I don't think she would have accepted one of those alive.
Definitely not.
What if we consecrate our devotion for the Jasif into the remains of our breakfast and hand it over?
I don't think she would. Sep loves, like, sweets and stuff.
You know, if you don't want to wash the dishes, you can just say that.
I'm sorry for scolding you about potatoes. Please get out of my mind.
I'm not sorry. Y'all are weak. Eat your salty potatoes. Eat them. Or give them to me. I'll eat them. Adder preemptively apologized to Sep for the meager, unhoneyed meal he was about to foist on her, and automatically headed towards his sacred dishwashing pool. Aww. This reminds me of the scene from Chapter 2. It was so sweet. I love Zhao in the priestess getup. It's so good. Zhao followed him out a few minutes later, now fully dressed up. One look at her and it became clear that she was busy silently judging this blatant misuse of religious infrastructure, but she remained entirely too polite to bring it up. Listen, until now, no one ever came here to worship. It might as well be a dishwashing pool.
So, you're not married to our son?
No, of course not. I ain't good enough for that. She was gonna marry someone else. Some moneybags with real big horns and a bigger chin, see? And don't even get me started on the size of his sword. Much more knightly than me, that one.
Okay.
Ah, she honored him to be a knight too.
Nope. Enough for like a trying, I'm sure. I mean, it don't even gotta be a knight either. She was definitely doing her best to honor Aina. Not a subtle one, my Sep.
Sorry, Aina was, the daughter of the seer, yes?
Yep, that's my boss.
The giant lady is the seer's daughter?
What? No, that's... I mean, yeah, I guess she counts. Look, Eka may be my boss, but she ain't my boss. That'd be Aina. She's my teacher, my friend, and the strongest gal in all Dakana. If she was here, she'd fix everything in one punch. She's just gone for now.
She's hanging out with me. Adder poured all his energy into brushing the dish he was holding. In his mind, weeks had already passed since that last heart-to-heart he had with Aina in that exact same spot. Oh, I was just thinking about that scene. But in reality, it had only been a few days.
First Aina, then Sep, you off too, I guess. I'll be damned if I can count on Eligrab or the patron for anything. Darn. With so many friends dropping left and right, I'm starting to believe I'm the one who's cursed.
Oh, I really love Adder. Zhao looked askance at Adder, racking her brain for the right adage for the moment.
It sounds like you're dealing with a lot right now.
He's like the poster child for, I act like a big doofus and I'm dying inside.
Nah, I'm fine.
Without another word, Zhao took one of the dishes from the pile and started brushing it as well. Her face made it clear that she'd rather be brushing thistles.
I don't believe I have the power to help in any meaningful way, but sorry, I don't know if this is considered proper in Akathor, but I could offer you a hug.
Oh.
That'll make you feel better.
Oh. Adder stared at her, dumbfounded. I love Zhao. Zhao might be my favorite character, I'm not lying. She's just so precious and I love her. A moment later, both dishes went flying in the air as the tiny goat was nearly crushed to death.
Joe, you didn't need to. You're the nicest person I've met in my life. I would force you.
God damn it, Maxie, I forgot. Adder doesn't know what the word fornicate means. I love him. Okay, I lied. I think that Adder actually is my favorite character. But Zhao and Sep are like the close seconds.
I appreciate that. Please don't get snot on my good robes.
Yeah, sorry. What'd you dress up for today anyway? Fancy him that much?
The congregation is growing fast, and we need to be ready to share the morning prayers with them.
Oh, right.
Right, yeah.
Adder gave her a moment to tell him exactly what he'd read in her head. Zhao hid her blushing face in her hands.
And I want to make sure I look good in front of your boss in case she drops by.
Anything for your holiness?
You look good, Zhao. You look positively delicious. What Zhao failed to mention, as she led Adder to the roof over the colonnade he'd walled off, is that where there had been merely 50 people there the day before, there were now a couple hundred. Yep, I fucking told y'all. It's getting intense.
What the? There she is, our Jessif!
No, Ishcap! That's just a goat!
Priestess Zhao, show us the Jasif!
Yeah, about that.
Now, what is this?
The congregation of Hirub! They came back, inspired by our devotion!
I mean, this is great. I'm on their side. I'm just, like, worried about... Because this is gonna go somewhere violent. I just know it.
That they are! No, for real. These folks should be working right now. You know what this is, right?
Followers of Hirub, yes? I'm sorry, something might be getting lost in translation. What am I supposed to be looking at?
Nothing. I'm sure this is just one of those thoughts rattling in my brain Sep would have had some words for. But still, don't get started just yet. Let me get a lay of the land first.
Adder, who, by virtue of having gone from farmer to soldier to wanted criminal, had lived through all sorts of revolts, mutinies, and riots. Right, yeah, so he would recognize it, like, right away. And maybe this is, like, my foreknowledge bleeding into, and I didn't necessarily have this established the last time I played, but, like, ooh boy, is this where this is going. He wouldn't have dared to call a religious get-together for oppressed minorities any alarming words.
Not out loud, in a company that may have opinions about it.
Right. He was closely acquainted, nevertheless, with the consequences that tended to happen to any get-togethers that escalated past a small nuisance in the eyes of the law. In the matter of crowds, emotions made all the difference. Like I said earlier, a few hundred angry people, that's a mod. And they fade with their fury, true. A few hundred scare people, that's a calamity. And they'll get it together once they're safe. But a few hundred Baran cheering for a glimpse of the culture they once shared, that was no fleeting emotion. Joy was too powerful a tool to ignore for the kingdom that wanted to silence it. I've described it more as hope than joy, but joy also is fitting. Yeah, they're both way more powerful.
That's not what Adder was thinking, is it?
No, I'm sure Adder wasn't thinking anything quite so vehement back then. These are still words that he said to me once, nonetheless. That he remembered the joy of the crowd, decades past, more than the anger and the fear. That it made all the difference in keeping their hearts alight with pride through the struggles. I thought you'd rather hear that.
Thank you.
Aww. Adder snuck out of the temple through the back entrance to the library and staggered around a corner to head to the yard. Whatever it was that he was pondering upon as he nervously scurried among the crowd in his knightly disguise, it soon came to a halt as his eyes zoomed in on a couple of gazelles that looked extremely familiar. Oh, these are the guys from, the flashback.
I told you, Kyubsop! That had to be the Yasif!
And I already told you that was no Yasif. That was just a
Yeah.
kid.
I remember now. This was chapter 3.
Oh, yes! We get thrown into a cell after a kid wanders down the desert roads claiming to be our son, and 10 years later the place goes down in flames? Manetop!
They got thrown into a cell? Did I misremember that?
Matnet S. It's called a coincidence.
Gods, I really hope we get to see the Yasif soon, just so she can make you eat your words.
At least they'd be giving us something to eat then. Where's the fruit we were promised?
Hey, I know you!
You do?
I mean, I don't know you, but I know the Yasif, and the Yasif knew you.
What's with this guy? It's a really half-hearted scam.
Bet you Adoru that's not even what this thick skull's trying. Sodding weirdos. So, you say you know us, do you? What an honor it is to be recognized by an envoy from the Yasif. Just to make sure you're not getting the wrong gazelles here. What's my friend's name?
Oh, come on. How am I supposed to remember that? Oh, no. God damn it. Oh, no. That was so long ago. Especially because I started this playthrough picking up from Chapter 5. I haven't played Chapter 3 in so long. Son of a bitch. Well, I got a 50-50 chance. I really don't know. I'm drawing a blank. They both... Oh, and they're so similar. Oh, Maxie, this is evil. God. I'm gonna flip a coin. I don't have a coin on me, though. I think I'm gonna go with Nuff, because it's funny sounding. I don't know. I don't know. It's probably wrong. Hang on, let me mull this over while I turn on the fan, because it's hot in here. Ugh. This is evil. Can't believe this shit, Maxie.
You're the only something here. Noof?
I think that's probably... Ooh.
That's right. How did you...
Oh! Let's go.
That proves nothing. He could have just been spying on our conversation. Tell me your full name.
It's been 10 years. How is the Yassi supposed to know that sort of ket-tat?
Also, did we ever even know the rest, like their full names? I don't know. I don't remember.
She's the Yasif. She should know everything.
I mean, she's got a whole darn lot in her head, all right, but that ain't really how that works.
What would you know?
Don't be like that. Yatsuribe are practically gazelles, right? Didn't you have a yellow deer in your extended family or something?
A crazy old bag is what she was. Just a hornless gazelle with a big snout. That doesn't make her a doe. Hey, Yatur, you ever hear a deer call themselves Badhan?
No, but,
Didn't think so. Run along now before the Asif starts missing her dear friend.
Okay, bye. Adder merely bowed its head and marched back inside, far more deflated than before. I wonder what would have happened if I got it wrong. I'm gonna do multiple playthroughs of this on my own time.
the land? Oh, no, that was just a way of talking. You really thought I needed to go lie down on the dirt or something?
Oh,
I thought it was some spiritual thing. A strategic positioning? Maybe you wanted to plant something? I don't know anything about Heirloomite customs.
strategic positioning. That's good.
Yeah, you don't know anything and I don't know nothing. What the hell are either of us doing here?
Yeah, we're in way over our heads.
Our best?
Adder's mouth hung open for a few seconds.
That's nice and all, but our best ain't good enough. They're not here to hear thoughts and prayers. They're gonna want a whole lot of things. It's all stuff we can't give them.
We need to figure out how to get Sep here. Stat. Adder, oh fuck, hi Gyoff. Oh my god, you're so menacing back there, jeez. Adder retreated away from the roof, followed by the priestess worriedly accompanying him to the entrance. He took his helmet off, one last time, to look her in the eye.
We can't do this alone, Chow. We're in way above our heads.
That's what I've been saying all along.
Cue Gyoff, strumming absent-mindedly on his oud, producing a sound that could be best described as the wail of the dying.
Gyoff! What the? Bring it in, you little backstabber! I can't believe I'm still happy to see you!
Me neither, actually. He sold us out, so...
I wish I could say the same! I really hoped I would never have to see your face again! Ugh! How many times do you need to get your tush saved in a week?
Saved? I should be the one saying that, you traitor! Didn't you get yourself arrested or... something? At Lord Snotty Snout's palace? How did you even find us?
Arrested? Adder. Really?
I was arrested! And by all technicalities, I still am. I was just about ready to walk out of the city with a small fortune and missing family heirlooms when Elbar's steward kindly informed me that a certain Sir Upperfield had been inquiring about me.
Unless I'm entirely misreading the situation between Elbar and Gyoff, but listen, I know Gyoff. And arrested was not the first thing that came to mind. Maybe handcuffs were involved, but like arrested?
I was moved by the thought of you infiltrating the guards' keep, hoping to rescue me, even after all the misfortunes keeping us away from each other.
After betraying me, you mean?
Mistakes were made on both sides in the heat of the moment, yes! What does that matter now? I still ran all the way here to find you. But what I find is that not content with getting almost executed once and almost getting captured twice, my dear nut in the making set out to become an agitator trying to start a riot!
No, it's all Miss Priestess here with her moving speeches. You should listen to the things she's actually saying. I'm doing a crap job translating for her.
I'm not sure where you got the impression any of that was meant in a positive way.
Of course it was. I mean what I said. You speak real pretty.
Adder, ladder, poorly stacked pile of acrimony. You know I love you from the bottom of this wretched heart, so I'm going to say this as nicely as I can. Have you forgotten what's coming to us? Put those ridiculous clothes back where you found them and go get my sister before I drag you two out of the city by the tail!
About that.
That ain't gonna be easy now, Bard.
I don't care how heavy her rear is. Tell her that if she doesn't walk out on her own 2 feet, I'll have Elbar roll her all the way up to the gates!
Why don't you tell her yourself?
Gyoff stared at the fire with an unreadable expression.
Mind giving us a moment?
Zhao nodded and turned around the threshold, allowing the fake bard and the fake knight some level of fake privacy. I mean, is he a fake bard? I guess he is. If I remember right, I think he might actually be kind of bad at playing the oud and singing and whatever. So maybe he is a fake bard, I don't know. A staring contest, just for Gyoff and what remained of his sister. Adder didn't dare make a single sound, incapable of imagining what he'd feel in Gyoff's shoes. Worse yet, if anything happened to his little brothers— oh my god, Adder has little brothers! Oh, I want to know what they look like. I want a family portrait, Maxie. Make it happen. I want to see. I love the idea of Adder being a big brother. That's so sweet. If anything happened to his little brothers, Adder would have no way to know. No way to do anything about it, even if he did know. All he could do was urge those thoughts out of his mind, time and time again. Uh-oh. He vibrating. Unaware of the silent turmoil he stirred within our protagonist, Gyoff finally sunk his fingers into his own jowls and gurgled out some kind of annoyed squeak. Yeah.
Not this again! Ugh!
This response does not surprise me. Gyoff threw his foot back, kicked the forge, and then squawked out a pained scream.
Say what? Hold on. This ain't the first time this has happened then?
No.
Were that it was! What kingdom wouldn't love a queen so hot-headed that she bursts into flames the moment she gets a little stressed?
Well, at least I'm aware, like, I interpret it as that the incident with her mother was like this, basically.
Listen here, Bard.
No, you listen! What did you do to her?
What did I do? I got her out of the house. She coalized and brought her ashes here. That's what.
That's all? How in the name of the Hatsa could that be all? She was perfectly fine yesterday. Escaping from some guards wouldn't make her do this. Not even the beasts. It has to be you! She didn't step out of line once in 10 years, and then you show up and...
She wasn't fine.
Gyoff opened his mouth to reply, but no words came out.
Did she tell you that?
No. I loved her enough to know.
Pretending to throw up was puerile on Gyoff's part, yes, but understandable as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, well, all the good that did. Your shoulder tattoos were nothing but a foretaste. And seeing her new luxury accommodations, I guess not even Pertok could save her this time.
Oh, was that how it was done last time?
He ain't even tried. Said something like he knew this would happen and couldn't be bothered to help.
Of course! We were all counting the days and the hours before Queen Oma Septur the Incendiary would finally snap and burn the whole palace to the ground.
And that seemed fine to you?
Well, excuse me for not sharing your savior complex. I had more than enough on my plate back then, all right? Ral was the one who handled it. We should just fetch her and have her convince Pertok to do something.
About that. Geoff looked at Adder, suddenly struck by a realization.
Because she made it out, right?
I don't know. I didn't... Taylor said...
I would be surprised if she made it out.
Taylor was there too?
Yes, he was! You almost got us killed, Goff! You think about that for a second? The people get hurt by all the crap you pull on us?
I think we did die, actually. Like, I'm almost positive we did die.
She's the one who torched the Desert Rose, you thick skull! Not me!
No, y'all just gave her the oil and the wine. No wonder she ended up like she did, having to put up with you and your entire goddamn family all along!
Adder finally seemed to run out of words to scream. His head felt hot and cold at the same time, and every last breath came out as a pant.
Everything all right?
Adder shook his head, and then he nodded. He muttered an, "I'm fine." It didn't even come close to sounding like Sirnar. Geoff, who decided to limit himself to silently observing the forge after the verbal beatdown, finally spoke again.
So, how do we put her back?
Was kinda hoping you'd know that.
What? Why would you think I know the last thing about any of this godly tripe? You need the help of a wizard, not a bard! Anyone who speaks this nonsense!
I agree.
Yeah.
Which is why Zhao's been working her horns off trying to figure out a way to solve this. That's why we're gonna come out there and keep on praying to the masses. Because we all want to help your sister get good. Now, if we're done here...
What do you mean if we're done? Of course I'm not done! You don't get to say when we're done! We'll be done talking when I...
Stop! Morshout's fixing this. The people out carry waiting much and they want to hear. It will be bad that they listen.
Oh, uh-oh.
What in the name of the Hatsa was that gibberish?
Miss Zhao is kindly telling you to stop being a tailhole and go figure out something useful to do. We got a speech to give.
Tailhole, that's great. For a second, I was like, uh-oh, is our gaze reading not working anymore randomly?
You're going to rile the crowd further while my sister is in this state? Who will look after her?
There you go. You're playing fire sitter for the day. All good now, Zhao.
Hey, come back here this instant, you cretin! Don't think you can talk to me like that just because you're wearing a helmet! Adder!
Does everyone in Heirloom scream all the time?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm starting to think I'm just kind of crap at choosing friends.
Wow. I mean, that's not necessarily a mood anymore, but that, like, 5 to 10 years ago, such a mood.
Good morning, Zales and Zales! Thank you kindly for your patience while we got everything sorted out up here. So great to see so many folk gather around for their daily prayers. Y'all making me feel all saintly here.
Adder, you're laying it on a little thick. Someone kindly hooted for Adder in the multitude, but that was all the reaction he got.
Right, it ain't me you've come to see. You know this, I know this. Give it up for the one, the magnificent, the only hero priestess in Heirloom, Zhao!
Adder shook his hands dramatically under his sleeves as he scurried back to let Zhao walk to the edge. Zhao waved her hand awkwardly, and she smiled at the crowd below.
I am so very pleased to see how much the congregation has grown overnight. The fervor of our ancestors shines with you all today.
Woo, priestess! Lead the way to revolution, priestess!
There it is, in plain fucking language.
Lead, what? Sorry?
Priestess! We're so sorry to interrupt your holy duties. Can we ask you a question before the speech?
Of course.
It's less of a question and more of a complaint. Some of us are still trying to decide if we really want to ditch our jobs and get dragged into your little scam. We're not going to solve anything just by standing about. What's the big idea here?
There's no big idea. I simply wanted to pray.
It's like, this is all great. Like, I'm actually all for this. Like, overthrowing and eating the rich and all that. Like, honestly, like... could, you know, use a little bit of this around here, if you know what I'm saying. The problem is that Zhao and Adder have no fucking clue what they're doing and no plan for what comes after, and that's a recipe for fucking disaster. You have to at least have somebody in charge that has some kind of game plan, or things will just get out of hand so fast.
What? That's not what she said yesterday!
You sure you translated that right? She said we had to come together for a new tomorrow!
Well, yes, but I was speaking about an abstract concept. The schism between Barhans in Akator and the Barhans in exile.
The goats, you mean?
Aw. Zhao bit her lip. Adder was already fretting by her side before she started balling her fists. But she merely took a deep breath and continued.
We Barhan of the North know what we are. We take pride in the knowledge that we are protectors of the past. None of us were there to witness it, but 4 centuries later, some still scorn those that took refuge in Akator after the fall of Basaksaret. We pride ourselves in submitting to the throes of fate. We chose the harshness of the eternal winter and exchanged one desert for another. It's hard to see past the resentment looking at the abundance southern Barhans live in.
Oh, that's not...
What abundance! I get nothing but leftovers for dinner!
This is such... I love this. Like, I love Maxie delving into this because it's complicated, right? Because the northern Barhans, they live in exile and in harsh conditions, but the southern Barhans live in servitude. They're oppressed. They're, you know, like they're servants. They're not treated well. They're not fed well. They're like second-class citizens. They're fetishized. You know, like it's not good for either of them, and they have it ingrained in them to be like pitted against each other when they should be focusing on the real problem, you know? Which is so relevant to things that are happening in the world today, right now, all the time.
You get leftovers? I'm lucky if I can scrape together one meal after working all day in the salt marsh.
Excuse me? Aren't your houses feeding you? Oh, look, there's the house service again, thinking they're talking for everyone. Some of us have real jobs.
And we don't? I work my ass off every day of my life.
Yeah, see, it's like these feelings are all valid and understandable, but they're not productive.
You get fed for looking pretty in front of your master's dear friends. Shut up!
Zhao cast a desperate glance over the multitude arguing against itself. She tried to grasp towards them, only to immediately pull back.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not understanding your hearts. I'm sorry that, having been so focused on the past, I refused to look at the present. I tried to school you in unity without ever having considered the challenges that set us apart.
This is why Zhao is so great.
I know gazelles to have been raised in all but subservience, second to deer in Akator. And perhaps, deep down, I may have felt like you deserved it too.
Oh, Anjali, these lines, deliveries, oh, my heart. I can, like, feel that just being like this is an ugly truth, but I gotta get it out there, you know? Adder's legs turned to jelly as he translated these last few words, but he held firmly to his belief on Zhao to trudge through them.
Please, let me learn from all of you. I am not here to teach you. I am your pupil. I will listen without judgment, and I will give everything I have to serve you through clear and cloudy skies. And when our Joseph wakes up, when she is ready to return, I want her to look at a community that has welcomed their own differences and is ready to look at that new tomorrow where we walk together.
Yes.
We have spent so long separated that we have forgotten what we once knew. We are all children of Hirub. We carry the sun with us wherever we go. We are each tiny seed that grows tall towards the sun into an impenetrable forest. Like shards of a broken mirror, once beautiful, now sharp and hurtful. We still reflect the same light. All we need is the frame that'll bring us together.
God, that is such a good fucking line. Oh my god, Maxie, I love that. Zhao raised a hand to stop Adder from translating her. She took a step toward the edge of the stairs and exclaimed in Sirnar,
Today, we make friends again. We share tea and salt. Know each other like brother.
The multitude stayed quiet for a few seconds. Then someone shouted,
I'm gonna get some cups, priestess!
Tea party, tea party, tea party!
I work at a trade house. I'll bring the leaves.
I live close by. I can get some cauldrons.
Hey, let's bring some pastry since we're at it.
I'm sure they won't miss them in my house.
Yeah, steal! The Barhan congregation poured out of the temple, seemingly reaching a conclusion of their own. As for the speaker herself, Zhao had to be held together as Adder and her tottered downstairs. She looked like she was about to fall on her face and dig herself a hole in the ground with her horns.
Why are they leaving? I thought it was a decent...
Burbith!
For an amateur.
Oh my god, Burbith, come on. You don't have to undercut every compliment, Burbith. I have such little patience for Burbith, but I'm trying my best. Adder's head nearly spun around on his neck. He had to confirm that the voice belonged, in fact, to the living, conscious, blonde fallow deer that he most dreaded to see. This I do remember from reading over the script. Because if I didn't, I would be so angry right now, because until I read the script, I fucking hated Burbith.
Burbith?
But, he's alright. I can't tolerate him for very long. He's alright, though.
Wanda! So you were the translator, as I suspected. It's good to meet you again, friend. I'm very glad to see you're keeping your head. Pun intended.
Y'all will see what I mean. Adder raised one of his massive hands in the air, ready to detach Burbith's skull from his neck. One quick look back at Zhao, and the thought of ensuing explanation that would need to follow made him wrap his hand against the older man's shoulder instead.
Hey, pal! Mind following me inside for a bit?
Same, Adder, same.
But I haven't even had the time to introduce myself to your little friend here. To sack him at, good miss. I haven't had many chances to converse with native speakers since I left Corbusui.
Yes, Sagmamat. Thank you for being so accommodating. The fallow deer I traveled with couldn't speak much Pasaktit at all. Mr. Barbath, yes? My name is Duap Nadir Jao, but...
Oh, linguistic shift at its finest. I believe what you meant to say.
Ah!
To Apnet.
Burbith! Adder choked Burbith with the inside of his arm.
Inside. Now.
Okay.
Like, I know he doesn't mean it in that way, but oh my god. I'll spare you the details that led to Burbith being tied on a chair in front of 3 people inside the inner sanctum.
I say we return him where he came from. Straight to his maker.
I do love Burbith's outfit, though. Like... slay. Like, it's so good. I love it. Like it's the green, like, wrap. Oh, it's so good. I love it.
No, you dimwit! We can use him for leverage with his brother!
Can we?
I'm not very sure what's going on, but is the gag really necessary?
It's for his own sake.
Uh-huh.
Trust me. Kinda wish I'd get the same treatment every so often.
I'm back. What have I missed? Oh, just escalation of a lot of complicated I guess division within the Baran community, and this revolution thing is ramping up, and everybody left the congregation to raid the pantries of the houses they serve and steal things to come back and have a big tea party so we can all get together. And also Burbeth is here. I don't know if you're familiar with the earlier chapters of this game, but Burbeth he means well. Everybody in their life has known someone like Burbeth. He's what you might call a know-it-all. And is so stubbornly sure that he's right all the time. He doesn't have any bad intentions. He usually means very well. But he tends to take his opinions to the extreme, even when he is blatantly wrong. And it is aggravating. Like, Zhao, right, is a Barhan from another region, and she doesn't speak their language fluently. The reason we get complete sentences like fluently from her is because Adder can read her mind, and we're understanding her as if she's speaking normally because we're translating in Adder's mind. So without Adder, she speaks kind of broken English or Xionar. But the language she speaks natively is Basakset, and Burbeth knows a little Basakset and just introduced himself, and Zhao was like, oh, thanks for being accommodating, and introduced herself, and then he goes, yes, linguistic shift, I think you meant to say this, and it's like, oh my god, Burbeth, that's her native language. Hello? Burbeth, how are you gonna correct somebody on their native tongue? Hello? He's that guy. He's that kind of guy. The gag is very necessary.
I'm sure you do.
He's very smart, though. And he... we were talking about hyperfixations earlier. He has a hyperfixation with Barhan, like certain parts of Barham culture. I don't want to get into the whole golem thing right now, but like, he's very knowledgeable about certain things. He's a scholar, so he knows a lot of things. It's just he thinks that his version of what is fact is the only version that exists, even if you tell him otherwise. But like, he refuses to. In previous chapters, we punched the shit out of him. He's the reason we're wanted, by the way, because he's a nobleman and we assaulted him. Because he refused to acknowledge Aina as a person. He was like, that's not a person, that's a golem. They're not real people, they're just robots. And we were like, nope, she's a person. Her name is Aina. And he just kept referring to Aina as an it. And to the point where he like tried to cut a part of her clothing off to prove to us that there was no detail because porcelain robotic body, and we were like, oh my fucking god, like that's what set Adder off and was just like, I'm going to destroy you. So yeah, Burbeth is a lot.
I feel bad for him. I'm going to take it off.
Okay. You asked for it.
Gentlemen, please! There's no need for such dramatic measures. I come in peace.
His knowledge of, like, Barhan magic, Barhan culture, and Barhan technology could be useful, though, considering the situation with Sep. So, we'll see.
Come to piece us off!
I understand your anger, Adder. I do. I've been pondering over the outcome of my recent interactions with you and your friends.
Good.
And through my many bruises, I have come to a conclusion. I have yet to walk a long, arduous path of self-improvement. That's why I decided to join the revolution.
Yeah, he's also very privileged. Like, his house is is noble. Like, they got lots of money. So he's lived a very privileged life, and, you know, this whole revolution revolves around, gazelles, Barhans, who are treated as, like, lower-class citizens. They're all poor. They all, like, are in, like, subservient roles in society and are oppressed as fuck. So, like, this is gonna be messy, having someone... the intention is great. The fact that he really wants to help, but it's gonna be messy because he does not understand. I'm literally running a D&D campaign where one of the characters is a warforged cleric that's coming to terms with the facts of the world. The dwarves in my world are typically atheists, so his deity is the darkness he was trapped in for 200 years, and he has no real grasp of society, and people keep trying to prove that he's just a servant bot. Yeah, it's a lot. Like, I mentioned this earlier, but I think you weren't back yet, but like, because I've read the script for chapter 5 like a while ago, the thing I remember most is my opinion changing about Burbeth, because until that point, I fucking hated him. I could not handle, like, it pissed me off the way that he refused to even humor the idea that, you know, just, who cares if you think that we're wrong? Can you please just pretend to give Aina like the decency of referring to her and as a person instead of it and Gollum and not a person, and oh, I've never seen one with such detailed facial features. It even has teeth. That's crazy. Like, Burbeth, just humor us. But he refuses, and I hated him. So like, now, like, he's here to make amends. He's hard to tolerate sometimes, but his heart's in the right place, and I've come around on him.
The what now?
The Barhan Revolution, you see. The name Barhan Rebellion was never used contemporarily. It is an awful misnomer created by the Akine historians, of course, which seems to imply that the Jasif once paid tribute to King Isifik when they did not. We are witnessing a new chapter in the history of Basaxarat, live in hard times. A religiously motivated strike.
Yeah.
And it is my duty as an expert in all Barhan matters to teach the current generation of uncultured gazelles how
that statement right there. Like, bruh, I understand that your hyperfixation in your area of study is in Barhan matters, but you are not a Barhan. So, like, your knowledge does not give you the right to talk over people's lived experiences, Burbeth. Oh, I have got to be patient. Heart is in the right place. His heart is in the right place. His heart is in the right place. Yo, Hulk Busted, good morning. Oh my god, Zhao is so done with him, though. Zhao gently put the gag back where it was.
I say we throw him in the well.
You think we could get a better deal on him if we smear some blood on his ransom letter?
Also, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know very well the relationship between Burbeth and his brother Elbar. I feel like there's some tension there. Like, would Elbar actually concede to, like, I don't know, like a demand letter, a ransom letter? Maybe out of pride, but I don't know how much they care for one another as brothers, to be honest. Some doe being a dodo. Well, he's actually not a doe. One of the things I love about this world or whatever is that, like, there's no big deal about gender expression, you know? Like, the deer in this realm, if they want to, they can just fucking chop off their antlers and then just live as a doe. And nobody cares. But that's not... Burbeth lost the antlers on an accident, so Burbeth is male. Did not mean for that to happen. For the time being, Adder opted to lock Burbeth in and keep the key. Fair. It seemed like nobody felt particularly in the mood to have lunch at that day, but sourest of all was Zhao, quietly brooding on the patio.
Hey, Priestess, you alright? I don't mean to stick my nose in your business, but, you sounded a bit more less nice than usual back there?
Oh, more about his behavior I was asking about. Oh, well, yes. Absolutely right about the behavior. He is something. He's trying his best.
I don't think it could be physically possible for me to be any nicer around that deer.
Understandable.
I hear what you're saying. All that talk about revolution left me a bit rattled, and I suppose that I'm still hung up on what you said earlier.
Dang, it's gonna go the way of the dodo. Yeah. I mean, like I said, he's the reason we were put on trial and hanged publicly in the first place. Because Adder just snapped and went ham on him. Which, you know, I would have done the same fucking thing in my position. Like, I would have totally went apeshit on him too in that situation. Also, poor Zhao. She really did not realize that she was... That feel when you accidentally start a revolution. Oops.
No, I'm so sorry for snapping at you like that. It wasn't your fault, okay? I'm not used to this sort of pressure, and there's a lot on the line right now, and...
I know.
No, sorry, but you really don't know the half of it. I mean, of course, you know, everyone's looking up to you. It's just that, I promise I'm doing my best to keep y'all safe. I can't afford to make any wrong choices.
I hold no doubt in my heart that you are doing plenty, but it's an effort you shouldn't need to make. It's my responsibility to take care of everyone here, not yours.
Why, girl? Like, it doesn't have to just be your responsibility. You just got here, honestly. What we really need is Illigrab. Because, like I was saying earlier, if you're... The problem isn't the revolution. I'm all for the revolution. I mean, I'm biased because Ekka's whole thing is eat the rich, and I'm like, yeah, eat the rich. Ekka's not a villain, change my mind. You won't. The problem isn't the fact that these, like, oppressed people are getting together and planning to, like, riot. The problem is that these two dumbasses are the ones in charge of this revolution, and they started it by accident, and they have no plan. That is messy and not good. We need Illigrab because Illigrab actually planned for this to happen and probably has some idea of what comes next, and we need that desperately right now, and we can't find him anywhere.
I know that, and it ain't like I don't trust you. I owe you my life. It's just...
Stop, please. You don't need to reassure me, Adder. I know I'm not very useful. You'll all trust me when I prove to be trustworthy.
No, that ain't it. I swear. I'm the one who...
Yeah, these two are in way over their heads. Adder stopped walking. He didn't really know what to say, nor what good it would be to say anything else on a matter he wasn't allowed to speak of. Zhao left without saying bye. No, Zhao, come back. Aw.
Yeesh. What crawled up her tail?
Geoff, do you want to get killed? Because we can arrange that.
What? Is this the gratitude I deserve for siding with you?
I just need you to understand, real fast, that I'm gonna kill you dead if you say one more thing about Miss Zhao.
Facts.
Fine! Go frolic with your replacement best friend! But don't come running back to me when the gazelles tire of you!
Gyoff, you're so extra, please. With that, Gyoff stomped away as well. Adder just sighed to himself. Not 20 minutes later, just a little bit before curfew, the strangest noise ambled into the forge. Adder's ears perked up and turned from side to side, trying to identify the source. Incoming fanfare seeping into the yard from a huge crowd. Oh, are they all back? Adder left the forge, curious and terrified to see what the ruckus was all about. He threatened to hang his head and 10-gallon hat on the wall. Exactly. Gyoff is just, like, so loud and extra. Like, but he keeps coming back. Like, he obviously cares about Adder, no matter what kind of noise he makes. He loves Adder, he loves Sep, he's not gonna leave us, but he's so He angry. He got things, he's throwing tantrums. That's just what he has to do. And so he found himself in the middle of an even larger impromptu party in the courtyard of the previously abandoned Temple of Hirub. Yeah, so yeah, the congregation, they all left to... Some of them might have gotten these things with permission, but most of them sounded like they were literally going to steal from the houses they work for. Like pastries and tea leaves and whatnot, and bring them here so we could all have a little tea party. Which, you know... Stealing from the rich is fine. I'm all about the Robin Hood shit. Go for it. Know each other like brother was being chanted teasingly as the Barhan shared dinner from the same plate and tea from the same cauldron, rather than from the same cup as Zhao had implied. Adder stretched out his neck, trying to find a tiny priestess over the throng. He found her doing the same, and so their eyes finally met. Steal from the institutions with insurance. Hell yeah. Or, you know, any corporation, really. Whatever. They can just fucking write it off. Who cares? Like, don't shoplift from your local mom and pop, but if you steal from Walmart, who the fuck cares? And for legal purposes, I'm definitely not telling you to do that. I'm just saying that if it did happen, then it wouldn't, I mean, Walmart wouldn't even notice, really. After a short, tense moment, Zhao shrugged. Adder shrugged back. So she went and happily joined the nearest group in their merrymaking. Don't steal from Walmart because they have hyper-aggressive litigation now. Do they? What, from, like, taking a loaf of bread to, like, one person? Like, really? Alright, well, you know what I mean. You know what? Fine. I'll say, replace that sentiment with, like, Hobby Lobby. Because that's always morally correct. It's the age-old, we're not here for your money, we're after the bank's money. The bank's money is insured. Yeah, okay, whatever you... It's ridiculous. Like, the state of like, the stage of capitalism that we are currently living in, the more that you learn about it and the more that you think about it, the more absurd it gets. They chase people down for taking like 50 cents worth of stuff. That's fucking ridiculous, man. And shouldn't be allowed. Like, because like, if they know that if you can't afford a pack of gum for 50 cents, then you definitely can't afford a lawyer. Absurd. Just absurd. Just remember, if you see somebody shoplifting from a big store, no you didn't. Let people live. They're not hurting anybody. Feeling thoroughly out of place and not a single bit eager to find excuses to welcome himself, Adder tried to sneak away and return to his self-imposed patrol duties. But also, legally speaking, don't actually do that. This is just a thought experiment in Minecraft, and it's morally okay, but you shouldn't do it in real life.
Oh, hey, it's the translator. Hey, Yatur, come drink with us. Like brother.
Hey, that's awesome. Adder, who had a record of having about as much of a spine as a squid when it came to rejecting invitations, immediately acquiesced and sat down, ignoring everything we just wrote. A casual round of introductions and compliments about the tea later, and they turned back to the boy quietly stuffing his face.
Mr. Translator, tell Miss Priestess that she's doing great. And you too. I heard Basektet is really hard. Who taught you?
I really like her voice. We're gonna look at the voice cast later, like when I'm wrapping things up, but keep Maswin in mind, because that's got such a nice texture. I've started seeing another wave of if you're struggling to make money, it's just a mindset ideology. Ha 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 ha. That's hilarious. I saw... I'm gonna lose my mind. I saw a discussion the day before yesterday, I think, on the gap between the median household income and the cost of buying a home in like the 70s and 80s to now. And it's absurd. Like, it goes from like this to like this. Y'all know, I don't have to fucking tell you. And even that was like, I think they put the average home cost at something like 400,000, which is like very low. I remember looking at that and be like, that should be even higher, honestly. Like around here, maybe you could get a decent enough home for 400K, but like in other, no way. And the median household income, and it's a median, so I understand, but also it was something like 70K or something. And I was like, no, most people do not actually make that much a year. Not even a chance, even within a household. So like, I was looking at people discussing this, right? And most people were like, yeah, that's a mood. Yeah, that, you know, that's the dystopia we fucking live in. And then one fucking asshole was just like, you know, whatever happened, I bought my house for 50K and I just worked on it. Like, y'all just don't know how to fix things anymore. Y'all don't know, like, you just want, like, handymen to come in and do it for you instead of, like, doing the work yourself. And I remember looking at it and being like, motherfucker, who has the time? Like, sure, you could learn how to, like, fix things or, like, hang drywall or, like, do plumbing or whatever. Like, fix up the house yourself. But when you work for 40 hours a week... and then the time that you're not spent doing that, you're like doing chores, keeping the house clean. If you've got kids, you're doing the school and the feeding them and the, you know, who the fuck has time to do housework like that? Nobody. Hello? Hey, what's up, Jeremy? What time is it? 10. How's your day going so far, Momo? I love you. Thor made a point when he bought his house for 200K with a 2.75% mortgage, and now his house is 500K with a 5.85% mortgage, and he just couldn't afford his house if he bought it now. That's everyone in this area. Like I personally know people who do I know somebody like close to me that bought a fixer-upper, and it was a full-time thing for her to fix that house up. She had the time to do that, though. Like, she wasn't working 40 hours a week in another job. She didn't have, like kids and other responsibilities outside of work hours to do. Like, she had the time to dedicate to fixing the house up. And she loves doing shit like that. She's always been, like, a hard worker. She works with her hands. She's a laborer. She's her whole life. That's what she does. That's what she likes to do. She's good at it. So, like, that worked for her. But, like, someone, like, I don't know, Jeremy, because, like, now I'm working from home, and I'm technically, like, unemployed, teetering on self-employed from when I can get work, but Jeremy, you work, like, a full normal hours, like, throughout the week, and then also every other weekend you're on call. How likely would you say you are to get a fixer-upper and actually work on... You're a handy guy, too. Like, you know how to do stuff. Like, how likely would you say it would be for you to actually do those things? How manageable do you think that would be? I would love to know. Because I'm pretty sure usually when you come home, you're tired. You don't have the energy to do that. And I think that applies to basically everyone. Just going out on a limb. I think that's everyone. Everybody is too tired. So yeah, and we live on the coast. Like, this area used to be pretty well known for having very affordable houses, like, to buy, to own. I remember the last neighborhood we lived in before we moved here, there were houses in that neighborhood. They were, like, small like cottage-esque cookie cutter type suburban houses, like couple of 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, but they were houses. They were like 100K, which is pretty good. They're not that anymore. Not even close. They're like 3 times, maybe 4 times that price now. Buying a house in this town is ridiculous. Yeah. So, yeah. It's hard work. Like, the stuff that you need to do, anything you really need to do to a fixer-upper, like, anything you need to do working on a house like that, it's hard work. That's literally why people do it for a living. It's not something that you can just do on top of having a full-time job. That guy was an idiot. I'm just gonna put that out there. That guy will never see this stream, but fuck you and you're an idiot. Which system are you in? Oh, state. North Carolina. We live in coastal North Carolina. So the cost of living here has gotten disproportional to what people make for wages, because our minimum wage hasn't raised in like fucking forever. But it used to be somewhat decent, especially because like I'm from New York and I know what it's like to live in a city. But that's like why it's all the more frustrating that it's gotten so high here, because it's like the more it's gone up, you know, like people's wages haven't gone up at all. And all the time I've been working here, so. This is also like over the years since I've started living here. I've been living here, what? 15 years now, maybe? And since then, this has become a place where people go to retire when they can't afford to go to Florida. So that fucks up everything in the economy here. Like, half of this town now is just retired people. And it's like, okay, I guess I'll die. We can only afford to we live in a nice house, but we can only afford to live here because we're a polycule, and there are 4 of us. And honestly, with the way that my income is right now, which is very dodgy and not very much, it's a little shaky right now. Like, we're getting by, but like, I'm gonna be totally honest and transparent with y'all. It is a constant, thing that looms over my head. Whether or not I'm gonna need to, like, go out, like, do some more, like, job hunting. Because I really want to make this... I'm trying to focus on making work at home work for me. It's just, you know, freelance is so dodgy. I can get a bunch of really good jobs, and it usually is, like, back to back to back, and then I can go for a while without a single job. And that is scary. So... But I long tangent again, going on tangents. We're squeaking by because everyone else in this house has a more stable income. But I could not afford to live here if it was just me. I couldn't even afford to live here if it was just me and Jeremy. Nope.
You know, I got a talent for languages, I suppose.
Yeah, this is the hellscape we live in. And, fuck rich people. Eat the rich. I'm all for it. Fuck them.
You know, my mother still spoke it fluently.
No way!
Merchant's word, merchant's word. I'm sure it was half radish stew, though. That's what you say in Chantheray, right? Pa came up from Garethke. Oh, you had this saying he loved. Zells and Rose, 3 drinks for 2 woes?
I like this guy's voice.
Oh boy, I hadn't heard that one in a while.
What? That's not a thing. If anything, we have a fame for being teetotalers.
I mean, where are we supposed to drink ourselves to death if half the barkeeps glare us away?
Adder's thoughts wandered back to his memories of Sep, always drinking in the loneliness of her room, and then to Gyoff, drunk wherever he could help it. He never considered once that there would be a reason for it. Oh, Adder.
Hey, so I got this friend, yeah? She's a gazelle with enough money to buy a tavern or two. Deer wouldn't just turn away someone like that, right? Rich folk are welcome no matter where they go.
I guess if she looked fancy enough.
Wow, we're getting into it, huh?
Money is money, and money makes the world go round.
It's funny how this swings back around to being super topical again.
What are you all saying? You really think deer are going to think of you nicely just because you have some coin? No! You're a gazelle with coin. You run out of money, and you're back to being a gazelle.
Yep. It's all about money, and that's it.
Wealth and power are only secondary to the perception others have of us. And this superficial influence is conditional to what the oppressing ruling class considers non-threatening.
Yep. Damn. Just... there it is.
The ruling class only exists to pit the masses against each other in order to distract us from our shared plights.
Yep. Preach. This is straight truth right now. Everyone in the group stared at Akike in stunned silence. I hope I said that right.
That's enough tea for you.
No, let him cook. And speaking of beverages, there walked a goat with a cup on her hand, and a certain telling wobble. Adder excused himself from the group and headed towards her.
You all right there, ma'am?
I'm waiting for the police or an occupying army executing the will of the ruling class. Yeah, if they don't say it, I will. That's 100% fact.
The tea was heavily blessed.
Oh shit, someone spiked the tea? Hell yeah, let's go.
Oh yeah, there's definitely more than leaves in some of these cauldrons. Want me to fetch you some water from the well or something?
Fuck the police.
No, I'm fine. It brought back memories of the journey here. The merchants called this mix a warm blanket. It was the only way some of them would sleep when we were camping in the open.
Wow. I feel a little called out, actually, because sometimes I'll do this.
That don't sound very safe.
Warm blanket is a great way to like, spiked tea. I love that term, warm blanket.
Of course it was safe. I kept watch for them.
I know a few British police officers, and they are genuinely good people. I still wouldn't trust them once they put the uniform on. I don't know the differences when it comes to... I can't speak on British police. I live in the US, which I'm sure everyone knows how bad our police system... Yeah, like, it's bad. It's bad. I will always say, be like, there are people that get into they become cops and they are good people, but once you are in the police force and you wake up and understand like exactly how things work, it's kind of on you to find another career at that point. That's when you go, oh, actually, this isn't at all what propaganda told me it was. It's bad. I should stop being a cop now. And if you don't, even the best intentions in the world, you are still being complicit. I know that's, like, harsh, and people will fight me on that, because they're like, oh, the bad apples and stuff, and it's like, no. You're being complicit. There's no such a thing as a good cop. There just isn't. They range from being utterly useless to being straight up abusive. And I stand on that. I have, from a very young age, and, understand my experience in the world, like, I'm white. However, from a very young age, I have always known how fucking useless cops are, because I grew up in a domestic violence situation. And I had family who were cops as well. I am very aware that cops are not there to protect you or serve you. Yeah. I can believe, because I don't know how it is overseas, but the propaganda is strong. Like, stuff that you see even now, you know, like the joke right now is like with Paw Patrol or whatever, but it's true. Like, people, when I was growing up, they would put cops on the same level as like doctors and lawyers and firefighters, as like the noble professions. You know, it's stuff like CSI or like detective shows, or, you know, cops and stuff, like, you know, shows all the time, like movies and whatever, like cops being badass, and it was like they catch the bad guys and whatever. Or, you know, my favorite quote unquote ones are the ones where like the good cops expose the bad cops and get them put away, and now only the good cops prevailed and got the corrupt cops, got them dead or put in jail. And it's like, oh boy. So I understand people who go into it with like noble intentions, like good people who are like, I have good intentions, I want to actually protect and serve. Or like even people who are aware of the corruption somewhat and are like, but they can't all be that way, and if I go in there, like, I can change the system for good. No, you can't. But once you get in there and you see how things work, then it's on you. Then it's on you to be like, oh, I'm out. Because it's not about, it's the system's fucking broken, dude. Like, there's nothing that you're gonna be able, you by yourself are not gonna be able to do anything. So yeah, it's just, it's not good. Oh, your mom's a doctor, that's awesome. I can't say that I personally know, I know people who are neither good nor bad, that they're like just people that are cops or whatever, but it's like, I still, just you continuing to be a cop is, I take issue with that. Especially around here. I'm like, I can't help but think about the local police in this area. Oh my god. Fucking pigs. They are the worst. Particularly. God, I hate them. But they're all like that. I mean, for real. There's a problem at the moment where there's a number of AFOs are decreasing, so they're debating allowing probationary officers to apply, which is only going to end poorly. It's just that, like, they get, like, no training also. Like, and the way that the tactic is always to escalate and never to de-escalate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many situations where people are having, like, a mental health crisis and they don't need the cops to be called. In fact, I've never called the cops on anyone in my life, and I never will, because there's no way that it's not going to be a situation where either, like, nothing will be done, or I'm going to accidentally get somebody hurt. So with that knowledge in mind, what the fuck is the point of the cops? You know? But then, you know, it's like I said, that's how things are here in the US. I don't know what police in other countries are like, you know? Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, and this isn't a justification of, like, they're the good ones or whatever, but, like, I know, like, in the UK, your cops don't even carry guns or anything, right? Like, isn't that a thing? Like, they don't have firearms? Because boy howdy, ours do. You'd have to be picked to be an AFO. Okay. Yeah, see, I wasn't sure. Like, media has only ever pushed to me that, like, British cops are very, stoic and don't have guns. And I'm like, I don't know if that's just a trope that's played up for the media or what, because I've never been to the UK. But, it's... boy howdy, do our cops love guns. Though they love tasers more, honestly. Like, cops here, don't get it twisted. They're all about the firearms, but, more readily, like, they'll tase the shit out of you for nothing. At the drop of a hat, they'll tase you. Like, easy. So that's interesting. I didn't know that there were cops in the UK that carried guns. I learned something today. We've gone on so many tangents this stream, and I already know that, like, I always upload VODs over to YouTube, and it's just like, inevitably, sometime in the future, somebody's gonna fight with me over cops. And I just want to tell you right now, future person that is commenting on how I'm wrong about cops, no, I'm not, and go fuck yourself, and I don't want to hear it. Bye.
Really now? Good for you. Keeping watches real hard. Everyone thinks staying awake is the tricky part, but it's the boredom, right? Doing the same day after day and nothing happens really gets to you. You know what I'm saying?
I think staying awake was more than enough challenge for me. I'm not really a nightly person, or a coffee one. I was drinking 10 or 12 cups of tea, unadulterated tea, every evening just to keep my eyes open.
Woof. I miss coffee. It messes up my stomach, so I can't even really drink it anymore. Like, I still love these. Monster, fucking sponsor me. I've been drinking these rehabs for years, every day. Why won't you sponsor me? But I do like a nice hot cup of coffee, and it messes up my stomach. I just can't coffee anymore. I can't.
Divine beeswax. No wonder you're so jumpy all the time.
Then what's your excuse then?
Anxiety.
That I'm a thick skull?
Or that.
That's your excuse for everything.
Sheesh, Chow. You're a mean drunk.
Well, yes, I'm a Barhan warrior. I have my moments.
Have I mentioned I love Zhao?
The warrior priestess caravan guard moments?
So I have my spear, right? And my shield too. And anytime anyone looked the merchants wrong, I'd strike a pose like kapow!
Oh my god, I remember this in chapter 2 where she's just like, I just look intimidating, but like I'm not really, I'm sorry, I don't want to fight. I'm just here to look scary. Zhao's demonstration had Adder laughing so hard that he almost fell to the floor. Oh. Our protagonist was about to intervene with his own grand delusions when he felt the tip of something sharp getting dragged across the back of his neck and down his sash. Hi, Eka. Hi. I don't remember this scene. Huh. He immediately turned his head back, looking for the thief trying to get their hands on his purse. Unless I was wrong, but that looked like Eka. Only to find himself punched across the face by a tiny fist.
No, Ada, I'm so sorry. I wasn't aiming for you. I didn't mean to hit you.
No, it's all right. I think the tea was getting in my head just now. So, thanks for whacking some sense into me. I'm gonna go take it easy for a while.
Adder hobbled towards the first floor. His staff was firmly clasped between his fingers. He'd seen a pair of glowing eyes in the darkness when he got punched back. He was sure of it. I don't remember this. But all he found in the forge was Gyoff snoring dutifully in front of his absent sister.
Bard! Hey, Bard, wake up! It's time to change shifts. There's a party going on down there, and I feel like they're missing a little something.
They might be drunk enough to be into your music, Gyoff.
Common sense, maybe?
Adder needn't do more than frown.
Fine. I'll go play for the gazelles. Maybe that'll make them go away faster.
Keep an eye out for Miss Zhao while you're at it. She ain't all that used to crowds, and she got more money than caution.
Oh yeah, she really did just walk right up to us and open her purse and be like, look at how much money I have with me. These are all my savings in the whole world. And we're like, baby girl, don't just do. People will rob you.
You should have started there.
Adder mentally apologized to Zhao for the trouble he had willingly unleashed upon her. Oh no. After confirming that he was indeed alone, Adder took a deep breath. and then he addressed the ceiling.
Boss, you around?
I'm always around for you, Bones. Even when you try to keep me away.
I don't remember this scene at all, guys. Usually I remember everything that I record. Like a scene will start and I'll be like, oh, I remember this recording session. I don't remember this. The creature that dropped down from the rafters was not the boss that Adder was hoping to see, but it was the one he expected nonetheless.
You looked like you were having a great time chatting down at the party. I wish you'd be that sociable with us.
Yeah, well, I hear I don't open up easily.
I could prove you wrong.
I don't remember saying any of this. I must have been in like a blur. Sometimes I'll get like hyped up and it'll put me in like a tunnel vision-y kind of mode. And I just, it's a blur afterwards, I guess. I don't know. It was a while ago, to be fair. Eka dragged a single claw down Adder's arm, raising the skin under his fur. Oh god, she's so hot. I don't care if it's wrong to simp for a character that you voice. I don't want to be right. I fucking love Eka. Like she hadn't just made such a threat, Eka proceeded to casually sit down on Adder's makeshift bed and pat the space by her side, making plenty of room for him to join her.
Is that your army? Do you plan to fight us?
They're not an army. Or at least, they ain't here to fight shit.
Yeah, I was like, not yet.
Who will they fight then?
No one, I hope.
You hope?
I guess they'll fight deer if we end up giving them reasons to.
Eka hummed under her breath.
Will they fight you too?
I don't know. I don't care about any of that. I ain't got a snail in this race. I'm just waiting to...
Adder's eye darted toward the forge. Eka followed his line of sight, finding nothing but a little flame.
To see Aina again.
Eka's sharp pupils turned back towards Adder once more, sizing him up on the spot.
All right, I'll get you, Aina.
Say what?
I like the crew you hang out with, Bones. The enemies of my enemies are my allies. Unless they're my enemies too, I guess? But let's not think about that tonight.
Eka circled around Adder, posing her knobbly, clawed hands over his shoulders.
Your friends are being a wonderful distraction for our purposes. My crew tells me the guard is in such a state of disarray that they hardly notice our presence. That's why I'd like to cede you Aina, to help with any ruminant-related issues that may appear.
The enemies of my enemies are me!
I'll arrange for her to return to her direct duties overseeing the temple from now on. Consider it a small reward for being such a good, if hard to train, pup.
Oh, I do remember the howling. I do remember that. Eka howled at the wind, letting the sharp sound resonate all over the city. Several other howls soon joined after it, barely audible over the party.
There. She'll receive her new orders soon.
Howling with direction. Yeah, nah, I remember doing a bunch of like, howling. I think, if I remember rightly, that Maxie, the game dev, is the other howl that howls back, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you for thanking me, pup. But I wasn't the one keeping her from you in the first place. I can't promise I'll be able to keep this arrangement forever, but I'll try. Be nice to me, and I will be nice to you. This is a promise to our continued relationship.
Just fuck this shit, I'm out. I could jump against one of the barred walls and then back into the ceiling.
Did anyone bring cake?
Yeah, I love this bit with the cake. It's like all the way back in chapter 4, Adder just casually just drops the, like, piece of cake, and she's just, like, obsessed with cake from then onwards. Like, I want cake.
I don't think they did, no.
That's a shame. I tried to ask about it, But apparently I don't have enough money to buy this Chanthurian delicacy, as they called it. It would seem pieces of cake are harder to come by than you made it sound.
Again, thinking about Adora from She-Ra with the Academy.
I guess I could always make one.
Adder, do you know the first thing about baking a cake?
You can do that?
A glimpse of a future involving cakes made by his hand crossed Adder's mind, of Sepp brimming with pride as she savored her new cook's work. Oh, that's a hell of a motivator, I gotta say. Of him eating all the cake he could ever possibly want.
Ah, yes! Thus starts our alternate universe recipe book / cooking romance adventure. The Chef of the Upperfield!
I'd play it. I would. I'd absolutely play it. You mean Adderson of the Upper Kitchen?
I mean, I want some cake too.
I don't really like cake. Unless it's like just pound cake or coffee cake. Ooh, coffee cake would be really good right now. Fuck. Huh? Whoops. That was not what I meant to do. Hello?
I could learn how to bake some stuff, but I ain't got no tools, and I hardly got the time to be leaving the temple.
Hey, what's up, Yarrick? How's it going? Oh, man. I'll probably have to take a short... I say short. Nothing is ever short with me. I was like, I'm probably gonna have to take a little break soon to grab some snacks and what have you. But, I'm gonna go for a little bit more before I do that. But boy howdy, am I thinking about coffee cake now? I don't have anything close to that in my house, and I don't have the money to go out and buy anything. But, oh man, I would kill for coffee cake.
Yeah, fair point. We'll figure out something next time.
Adder's chest only started filling with air again as he watched Eka scuttling out through the ceiling. I'm imagining her like full crab walk style on the ceiling. I love her. I'm doing okay. What time is it? Oh, it's only 10:30. Gosh, it's so strange streaming at this time. She let her body hang upside down one last time.
Oh, I almost forgot. Thanks for the deer snack. It was delicious.
Oh, I do remember this part. Okay, I didn't remember most of that up until now. I do remember it because this is really funny. The stag's face went pale. He barely managed to wait for Eka's tail to disappear before darting out to find the prisoner that had so easily slipped out of his mind and the key that had vanished from his purse. Oh, that's what... Okay, that's what she took out of his... Okay, got it. Adder ran all the way back to the inner sanctum. The door opened under his hands with a soft push. Barabith still remained inside, unharmed like he prayed. No longer tied, however.
Well, well. Look who it is now.
Who took these off you?
A gargantuan doe in a hat, I think. All I had to go by was her voice. She took my glasses off and poked me with a skewered potato before releasing me.
I love this so much. Deer snack, of course. A snack for deer. Eka was just messing with him. Adder took a hand to his face and sighed in relief. It didn't last long.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have left you alone.
Why, yes! You really shouldn't have. I'm an invaluable asset to the cause, donating my time and knowledge for the sake of it.
Barabith, please. It's like, you can only ever be at a 9 or 10, and I really need you to be at like a 4.
Listen, Barabith. The one thick skull who don't know when to shut up to another. Despite everything you've done, Oh, gods, I must be drunk. I know you mean well. I want to believe you ain't a bad guy. For real.
Yeah, same.
You've been a hair's width away from getting me killed a couple of times now. But I know that wasn't really what you were going for. You mess up, you apologize, you make up for it. That's what a good buck does.
Burbeth silently shimmied with pride that Adder wouldn't afford him. Oh, shimmied is so cute.
However, what you were going for makes no difference in the end. You keep talking down to these folk, any folk, and then when someone finally snaps and comes at you, it's them that gets in trouble because justice wasn't made for us.
Thank you. Yes, this is exactly the problem, Burbeth.
Justice isn't made, it's a social...
Oh,
It don't matter now. See? You're so convinced whatever you're gonna say is so important that you can't hear a thing outside your own noggin.
Why?
Or maybe your ears are just so stuffed with Papa's gold that no one ever dared tell you to your face you could be a massive, God's damned creep.
What do my family assets have to do with any of this? I don't care about the money or the privilege. It's not my fault I was born with them. What matters is how I use them. And I feel just as strongly about justice as you do.
Listen, it's true. Like, you didn't choose to be born into privilege. It is, what matters is how you use them. However, sounds like Kenny from the Walking Dead Telltale games. Oh my god! You know, I never actually thought about that. It's not, but I know exactly where you're coming from with that. Man, I haven't thought about the Walking Dead Telltale games in like a minute. I don't think I finished them. I think I played through like the first 2 chapters and I didn't get any further. Because you had to keep buying them in chapter installments and I have to manage my finances, yo. But yeah. Damn.
All I ask in exchange for helping is the gratitude of those I help. What's wrong with wanting that much?
So you ain't doing this for nothing in the end. You're here to hear what a good buck you are. What if no one says that? You gonna turn us in?
Yeah, you should just do things because you believe in it and you want it to prosper and succeed. You really should not expect a reward. Like, honestly, like, back when I had stable, like, sturdy income, I liked to donate to things, but I didn't, it was so, like, it's so difficult now because of the way that things are so, like, performative in a way, where it's like people will expect you to say or post and be like, I did the thing, and if you don't, they just assume you didn't, and then they get mad. But it's like, I don't really like putting it out there, just being like, look at what a good thing I did. And I kind of just prefer to just do the thing. Because, I mean, the point is to do the thing, not to get praised for doing the thing. You feel me? I don't know. That's just how I feel about it.
Of course not! I have come here because I believe this is right.
Right. And now I just, like, completely, like, flipped all of that by admitting that that's what I did. You know, like, oh, look at me, I donated to all these causes, but you never knew about it because I never told you. But, like, it's just how, I just don't think that you should assume that people, because they don't talk about it, aren't doing good. People can just quietly do good instead of focusing on parading around their goodness. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with just establishing, like, I did the thing. But if that's all you're doing it for, that's a problem. Some people, like, they genuinely believe in it, and then they still will be like, I did it, because, you know, otherwise people will just be like, you don't believe in these things. I don't know, it's so complicated now with the way that internet culture is. I don't really want to get into it, because it's like, I don't know what the answer is, but for me personally, I don't really like to trumpet it, if that makes sense.
Then do right.
Burbeth sighed. He let himself fall back into the chair, rubbing his forehead to try and keep an incipient migraine away.
How many more ways can a man apologize, Ada? I truly wish I could do anything else to show I mean it.
Yeah, I mean, just do it, Burbeth. Just do it. Like, saying you're sorry is great, but, you know, now you gotta do the work.
I don't know. I kind of stink at apologizing for all the times I gotta do it too. But the one thing I can tell you is that ain't nothing much in this world that words alone can fix.
Yep.
Pa always said that talk is cheap, and if sorry costs a doru, nobody'd ever say the word. Now, I don't think that's 100% right. If you never say you're sorry, how is anyone supposed to know you regret anything at
Right.
all? But it ain't no cure-all, fix-all to get you out of hot water when the deed is done.
Yeah. Also, nobody owes you, like, forgiveness. Like, you can apologize to someone, and you should, but you shouldn't expect them automatically to just forgive you. They can not forgive you, and that's fine too. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't make the effort to apologize anyway. And then, you know, you just gotta do better. You just gotta go out there and do the thing.
Sometimes, the right thing to do is shut up and listen to show you care.
Damn.
Others, you gotta get and leave them space to forgive you.
Yes.
And the rest, they may just want to hurt you back for the rest of time.
And that's fair, depending on what you did. I mean, like, you can't force people to forgive you. Damn, man, Maxie is killing it in this chapter. Like, there's been so many bangers in previous chapters, like, just, like, nuggets of dialogue, but, like, chapter 5 has just been, like, non-stop good shit. Ah, I love this.
You just gotta try to do right by them. Because you can't just tell folks they gotta forgive you.
Just what I
You
said.
don't get to choose who wants you back after failing them. Some mistakes can never be undone.
Adder took a hand to his missing eye.
I'm here giving you a chance because I'm not even brave enough to tell you what I'm making it up to you for. I don't want you to spend the rest of your life apologizing too.
Oh, fuck. I don't actually know about the thing with his eye, but I think it has to do with Thumar, who is Burbeth and Elbar's dad. I think he, if I'm remembering this right, and I can check the encyclopedia, and I don't remember if he's in there, but he was like Adder used to be a soldier. I think their father was a general, and something fucking happened, and I think Adder feels responsible for whatever happened to their father. I think. Not positive, but yeah, I get it. Burbeth steepled his fingers over his lap. He hesitated to look at her straight in the eye, but he still went above and beyond to try and at least look him in the nose. Oh, that's a mood. That's an autistic as fuck mood. Looking at the nose. That's the strat.
I'm sorry for all the trouble I must have caused you.
That's my number one strat.
I'll be more careful with what I say and do. I want to help. You are very interesting people, and I want to be friends with all of you.
See, this is where I'm coming around. Like, Burbeth is so insufferable sometimes, but, like, he really does mean well. He's just terrible at actually getting that across.
Good. You've already apologized to me. I can't forgive you for everyone else.
Yes, of course. Where's Elbar's kitchen maid? I'm sure I have a lot of apologizing to do for whatever I said to make her so uncomfortable after the trial.
Are you talking about Sep?
Elbar's kitchen maid?
It made me do a double take too. The realization hit Adder like a cart running downhill. He nearly broke his jaw gaping at Burbeth so hard.
You remember Sip?
Oh my god, yeah, wait. The curse. He shouldn't remember who she is. What?
How could I forget? My face still feels hot where she slapped me.
Oh. Oh. Sure enough. Oh, right at the edge of his cheekbone, there was a bit of singed hair. She branded him. Oh, no. Interesting. I don't remember this at all.
You, with me, now!
After an intense race across the temple, which neither deer's body was prepared to handle, they made it to the forge. For those who don't know, aren't familiar with the lore in this game, Sep, who is MIA right now, currently she exploded and is now existing as this fire in the hearth. She is a person, though. She's cursed. She has this curse where after the more time passes, like after a couple of weeks or something, people forget who she is. They forget they ever knew her. They forget any interaction they ever had with her. So like, unless they're around her constantly, they'll never remember who she is. Unless she like, she has this. She has like fire magic. That's a really poor way to describe it. It's not really fire magic, but in plain terms, it's like a fire type magic thing. If she brands you, then you won't forget her. Like Adder has these 2 singe marks on his chest, so he never forgets who Sep is. And Gyoff always wears a hat for a reason. I'll just say that. Hang on a second. I want to see if Thumar is in the encyclopedia. No. He's not. I wasn't sure. Hey, Curly, because he's bald. Yeah, sure, we'll go with that. No, I don't think... Okay, no. Nah, okay, I don't see an entry that I'm aware of anyway that would relate to Thumar, so I don't think we have a whole story about that just yet. Anyways, how you doing, Curly? But yeah, one of the reasons that I really love, and I keep saying this, that like yes, I am in this game, but if I wasn't, I would be in love with this game regardless. The bias has nothing to do with it, because I love games that have like their own, like, I love world building. Hi, I'm the biggest Song of Ice and Fire fan you've ever met. I love world building, I love lore. Even if it has nothing to do with the main plot, if it adds to the world, I love it. I eat that shit for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So like, I love how much this world has, but it can get difficult to explain concepts this far in the game to people without getting into like explaining what the Hatsa is and Oblivion and all that other stuff. Like I can't get into that. I'll be here forever explaining everything and going through the encyclopedia again, and I can't. But it's really cool and it all makes sense in world and it's great, and you should play it. Go buy the Hayseed Night, do it. Adder had to put together quite the situation brief to alleviate Burbith's confusion and reduce the possibilities of him getting slapped to the ground again should Sep come back anytime soon. God, that's so interesting that that one slap, because I know she didn't mean to brand him.
Oh, gods above! It can't be!
Shh! Keep your voice down. You never know who could be listening.
How could I ever possibly lower my voice? This is the unthinking life force. The impression of light, the legendary sunlick, the most precious of all alchemic components.
Yeah, I had a feeling because he's so hyperfixated on Barhan technology and Barhan magic and Barhan culture that like I knew that he was gonna flip out. Here he goes.
I have spent a lifetime and 1,000 liquor barrels trying to recreate this exact phenomenon, Adder. And here it is, right in front of me, taunting me with the ease with which it shows itself to the unversed.
But I mean, this could be great because we have no idea how to get Sep back into like a form, a physical form that's not like fire. Like her body is just gone. So like, how can we get her to reform in her body or a body or something? Burbith would be the one who would have the knowledge to do that. But here's your moment, Burbith. You say that you're sorry and you want to help. So here comes, I've noticed that you're already using it a lot. So we're going to go through this again. Are you going to be stubborn or are you going to acknowledge that Sep is a person?
Bearbeth, that's a person.
Here we go.
Yes, thank you for your input. I suppose it may be good to provide some context so that we can understand each other.
It's a start.
Fire is not a fire. It is a stabilized version of an anomaly in the natural progression of the Hatsa currents, which traditionally we'd represent in academia as a swirl, or a vortex due to its properties.
Oof. I just read a bunch of stuff, watched Wendigoon's video on Uzumaki, which I've read Uzumaki, but like the swirls are in my head. Like I just watched that video last night.
In extremely simple layman's terms, this is a Hatsa sink. All that comes in contact with it will be irreparably sucked in and disappeared into oblivion.
Yep.
Right. But that's a person.
Burbeth looked at the fire. And then he looked at Adder. And I can understand. I'll give Burbeth the grace to, like, you know, it's a fire in the hearth. It's hard to look at that fire and go, that's a person. Because it doesn't look like a person. However...
No, it isn't.
Yes, she is!
Here we go.
She's the Asif, and she was cursed to be forgotten, and... That's about everything I know, really.
So you're saying this is the Jasif? What remains of her, that is? Yes, yes! That would make some degree of sense. The fate Hura cast on the Jasif Omagepseb, and the legendary technique the Sifi in his court developed to bond their souls to automata. As one single concept. Oh!
Wait, hang on a second. Let me process this sentence. Okay, yes. Talking about golems and stuff here.
It wouldn't be too much of a logical leap to assume he learned a way to tie his fate to that of others as a measure of self-preservation in the face of oblivion. An instinct to recreate this bond, pass through all of his current, perhaps. Yes, that would explain how the Sunlick remains stable. This Jasif must have bonded to both of us. Yet ironically, we are the ones providing energy to her. She's both master and golem.
Oh, interesting. So she's only actually... Like, Sep could have actually straight up died. The only reason that she still exists in this flame form is because we remember... the fact that she branded us and we remember who she is giving her energy. Interesting.
Hold on. I'm getting lost. What do golems have to do with any of this?
Technically speaking, we are all flesh golems, subject to the whims of our nervous system.
You know what? That's fair.
In a practical sense, maybe everything, maybe nothing. The knowledge behind the fabrication of golems was banned and destroyed centuries ago. All we know is that the Sunlick was used to create a semblance of life in them. It is consciousness itself. Just picture it. A chemical which could even be applied to a living being to erase previous intentions so that the user could infuse their own will.
Oh, right, because she can do that. We've seen, like, a couple tiny glimpses of that.
The Jasif would be capable of overwriting the very base of our decision-making if they could exude this substance naturally. They could have the capacity to make golems out of any of us.
Yeah. This actually does make sense. This is the kind of thing that is like, because I have played this game from start to now, and I have read all the encyclopedia, and, you know, like, this makes sense to me. But explaining this to somebody coming in now who has not played this game or knows anything about the lore, explaining this would take a long time for me to get it across. So it's like, it's good. It makes sense, I promise. But, like, you gotta go play for yourself. Just know that this makes total sense. And, yeah, we have seen Sep a handful of times do this thing where she uses her voice to command, and whatever the person was going to be doing before, they stop everything and do what she says. It's only happened like once or twice, but she has overridden other people's will before. We know that's possible. It's not the wee hours of the night because my sleep schedule is flipped because I guess because fuck you, Kemi, I guess. How you doing, Chief? I am going to take a break pretty soon. But I think I'm gonna come back. I would take like a BRB or whatever, but I'm probably gonna go make food and it'll probably be like an hour or something. And then I'll come back again, I guess. Because I'm so into this. Like, I've been wanting to get into playing this. It's been a bad month for me. I haven't played this in a month. And between then and now, I have gone through it. And I've been missing it. So I really want to dig into this today.
I suppose that would mean we share some form of connection too, then. We're bosom buddies! Get it? Because of the marks on your...
Titties!
Never mind.
No, I got it. That was great, Burbeth. Adder paid no heed to Burbeth's musings. His mind wandered back to the space between getting stabbed and suddenly coming into Sep's room, trying to save her.
So this really is Yusif's world, and we're all just living in it, huh?
I wonder about that. The sunlick was a famously volatile component, even back when it was commonly synthesized. When exposed to an external power source, golems were known to briefly go mad and then collapse spontaneously into nothing.
Huh.
I don't know whether to blame the curse or just Sif's own nature, but if it is due to their properties being alike, I can only imagine how such fickleness would manifest in an organic body.
Well, we don't really need to imagine because we know.
Oh, I got a general idea. You know, if you need me to sketch it out or something.
Adder and Burbeth looked at each other quizzically. It seems their conversations had diverged slightly at some point.
Be that as it may, this is, quite literally, a flaw in her existence. She should have been disconnected from the Hutsa a long time ago.
Well, I have it on good authority that she exists. And she's a person, and she's been turned back to being a relatively run-of-the-mill gal before. And Zhao said that other Yusifs change shapes all the time or something.
Indeed. If we look at the Hutsa in its more metaphorical river of emotions interpretation, and consider her existence to be a fragile instability, all it could take to cause such a transformation would be a surge in the current.
Huh.
Whether it be temporary or permanent, willing or unwilling, I'd rather not speculate in that regard. All I can safely say is that she remains in this world because we think that she should be.
Right, which is why it's like, if she hadn't branded us, she just wouldn't exist anymore. Because by now, I can't actually... How much time has passed? Well, not enough time, but in a couple of days' time, if we didn't have marks, then we would forget about her, and she would just disappear.
What she thinks of it don't make a difference?
Should it?
Adder stepped back, stunned at the question. He'd felt Sep's pain, her void of emotions, and her whirlwind of them. He'd witnessed the darkest pit of her melancholy, and stored it away in his own little box of feelings to pretend it wasn't there. Adder sniffed hard, positive that he didn't want to shed a single tear in front of Burbeth.
I barely qualify as a Tharthagan, but I consider myself a fantastic engineer and a better alchemist. When faced with a puzzle, not even death could pry me away from its mystery until I stumble upon an answer.
I believe that.
And here I atone for my sins, friend. For whatever grief I could have caused you or her to prompt this change, I offer you my time, my resources, and all the knowledge I have.
Okay, good. Good job, Burbeth. You said her and offered to help, and good. That's good.
I shall build her a body.
Wait. Back up.
What?
When you say build.
I know it sounds unsettling, but it needn't be. Think of it as a cozy vacation palace to inhabit while she puts her existence in order.
Okay, well... Fuck, I was about to be like, temporarily, that's not bad. Just to make sure, you know, because right now she's just kind of exposed. Like, if it were to rain on that hearth somehow, like, would she go out? I don't... Oh. But then I was like, well, once she's in an artificial body, can she put her existence in order? Or is she trapped in the body?
No! I ain't the guy to talk to here. You gotta take this to Zhao when she's less wobbly.
Right.
She's the expert in all things holy. And Gyoff, too.
Right.
She's sister.
Yeah.
Taylor and me.
Well, as much as I love Taylor and would love to see him again, no.
The sunlick is extremely volatile, as I said. We can't just leave it exposed to the elements the way it is now. The longer we stand by, the likelier it will be for her to cease existing.
I don't know crap about this, okay?
I love Adder. Adder stumbled back.
I'm sorry. Didn't mean to. Just Wait a bit more, okay? I need to get some air.
As you wish. I'll settle myself for the time being in the library then.
Yes, good. Adder nodded, thankful, but barely able to say another word. Adder stood still for a good while, merely listening to the echo of Barbeth's footsteps bouncing in the marble slabs. Then came the silence. Old mistress, harrowing companion. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Silence always turned our protagonist into an unwise man, because silence was never silent. It brought with it the company of wicked thoughts. Mood. He was not the man to ask. Not today, not ever. He had no power to choose. He shouldn't even be allowed to choose. Every fraction of a second he spent around his friends, he was only making things worse. No matter how he tried, he could not be relied upon. And the worst part was, they knew. He was sure they knew. It was only a matter of time before they found out if they didn't know. And if they didn't know, then they should have known. Oh no, this is... Maxie, did you take this directly from my head? Deserter once, deserter twice. It was just a matter of time until they knew he could not be relied on. Adder grabbed his shepherd's crook and set towards the...
I wouldn't take another step if I was you, lad.
There you are!
And Elbar is feeling much better tonight.
You motherfucker, we've been looking everywhere for you. Adder's hand twitched around the wooden staff.
Illigrab, where did you... How?
You're never going to guess.
Don't get cute with me now! I was got myself killed because of you! You said you'd be waiting for me all day. Why weren't you?
Why? Now that's a great question. I don't even know where to start. Elbar gets pokered in the head, the Desert Rose goes kaboom during an eclipse, and then 200 barhands leave their jobs to congregate around an ibex priestess and her row translator in the abandoned temple of a missing god.
Yeah, that about sums it up.
Kick a hornet's nest and ask me why I'm running around. Oh, Ada, you've always had a knack for making my job hard.
That wasn't... I never meant for any of this to happen. I just wanted to...
Oh, no, kid. Don't get me wrong. I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
Quite the opposite. I'm honestly kind of impressed. I wouldn't have taken you for the revolutionary kind. Some people spend their whole lives trying to earn their way into what you've stumbled into, you know?
Like I said, this is what Illigrab wants to happen. It's just that, like, we don't know what we're doing. And Illigrab is, like, the one who actually is planning for this to happen. Which is why he needs to be here.
You're just oozing with star quality, my boy. Like a natural disaster.
Illigrab, no, I ain't got nothing to do with this, I swear. And even if I did, there's more important stuff going on. The beasts.
Ah, yes. The beasts. The beasts certainly would be an impediment to the guard coming in to nip a riot in the bud.
I love that he just keeps this shtick up, where he just pretends like Adder's crazy. Like, beasts aren't real. Like, oh yes, oh Adder, you and your talk of beasts. When he's the one who invited the beasts here in the first place.
You don't believe me?
Illigrab exhaled slowly, ruffling every needle under his nose. He combed his mustache with his fingers pensively.
Come on, Adder. You have to admit it's all a little too convenient. Far-fetched, even for you. What would you have me do if I were to believe you?
Okay.
I don't know, something, anything. I feel like I'm losing my mind. I can't handle this alone.
Alone? Adder, look around you. You've drawn yourselves a crowd. A fervent mass of devout followers heeding the every word of a naive young ibex that was sweeping the floor just yesterday, and a row who can't even get hanged right.
You know, you say you can't get hanged right, but like... They hanged Adder 3 times and he refused to die. I would say he definitely did it right. Get better rope. That sounds like a you problem.
Carnivores should be the last thing on your mind right now.
Adder hung his head. He'd never heard that word before, and he didn't need to. He immediately knew what Illigrab was implying. Even though he'd never been so naive as to think a tree man would believe him, Adder's reality was still turned to all the bleaker in just a few words. Illigrab sidled towards him, shuffling his feet as he did any time he felt like being inconspicuous.
I don't know what's keeping you here, but I know for a fact you wouldn't be dawdling around if you could help it. I don't have to tell you, right? Nothing good ever comes from being in the spotlight.
Make one mistake. Take a step in the wrong direction, and everything goes up in flames.
As Sepp would put it, yes. One could say that's a rather positive outlook. You know what smart people do, my boy? They always keep a bucket of water at hand.
And you are my bucket of water?
No, kiddo. I'd never run out of fires to put out. I'm on cleaning duty after the show.
Yep.
Your bucket of water, well, I suppose you are the only one who can decide what that looks like.
Thanks for that, by the way, Illigrab, but alright. Adder couldn't bear to even speak of the actual fires he had to mind. He wouldn't say such a thing out loud. It would just be yet another problem for Illigrab to make light of. Always one to pick up the mood, though not always keen on respecting it, the tree man put his helmet on and made to leave. Still, Adder spoke one last time.
Is this how it's gonna be every time? You're just gonna keep on running away with your tail between your legs whenever I need you and then act like we're still friends?
Bleak night approached, one gust at a time. Illigrab's leaves sowed in the wind.
Someday, you'll understand.
Nah. Alright. Bye, Illigrab. With that, he disappeared into the night, changing exactly nothing at all. Silence again. But this time, the deer could pick the soft creaking of the flame in the fire pit over the hurricane of his own thoughts. When at last they were alone, Adder sat down next to the fire.
Hey, Sip. You heard all that?
The flames flickered in response.
I don't know if I'll ever understand, but I don't get a single thing right now. I think I'm just stalling at this point, because what if I said, let's do this, but then you wake up and I messed everything up and you get mad at me? Gods, what am I saying? We're not talking about you, Adderson. What I'm trying to say is, I want you to be happy. No matter what. If I can't make sure that's going to be the case, I shouldn't be the one making decisions for you.
Applauses and whoops in the distance interrupted this moment of reflection. Adder perked his head up slightly, trying to see if he could catch a glance of whatever was happening in the crowd.
There's a whole party going on out there, you know. I think it's supposed to be a strike, but it's more like a festival in your honor. I'm not sure if you're into that sort of thing, but maybe you would have liked it if we went together. Tell you a secret? I know it's hard to believe now, but Adderson Hardestag, son of your fought, was never much of a crowd's buck either. Especially taverns. All the music and noise pound my head like nothing else.
Same.
But it was the one place where folks were drunk enough to be nice to me. Maybe I'd even make a friend or two if they felt like pouring their hearts out. I don't drink to feel good, but I'd drink ooze if it made others feel good about me.
I love Adder. The fire continued burning. That was enough.
You've always been great at listening, you know. I'm seeing that now. Nobody else in the city would let me get a word in, but you always cared so much about everything I said. I wonder if I ever let you speak like that.
You did.
And speaking of not speaking, if Eka ain't messing with me, Aina should be back soon. I don't know how soon is soon, but I'm really looking forward to seeing her again. It's not even been 2 days, and I'd do anything to have y'all back. Soon can't be soon enough. I need you. Both of you. I'm half the man I am when you're not around. Hang in there, love.
God, I ship the three of them so hard. I just love it. Like, just, point to me a game where it's just like a nice little polycule and it's not a harem situation is like the focus, like the main characters in the game. It's so good. I love them. No reply. There never would be one, no matter what he said. Hatter knew this deep down. But knowing was not enough to stop him. He couldn't resign to this fate, for either of them. He needed something, anything. He needed to know that she was still there. Just as this thought started to threaten to turn into a whole new spiral, one of the coals snapped and cracked, sending her bells on a short roll away from the fire. They bumped against each other and the bricks on their sudden getaway, but not a sound came out of them. Hatter felt like a fool at the thought that followed. He did. But he still lifted a hand and reached into the forge, careful not to disturb the fire.
No, no.
What is this dream he keeps having? God damn it! Teasing me! Okay, this is a good place for me to take a little break. Start of a new day. Cause like, I gotta pee. And I need to eat something, and I just got an email for something I need to knock out work-related. So, I'm gonna take a little break, and I should be back in a couple of hours. And yeah. I mean, there's always the chance that I won't, but I intend to come back in a couple of hours. And yeah. Let me see if anybody is online right now that I can host. I was hoping that maybe, I didn't know whether or not Rummy was going to stream today, if I could just host Rummy, but I think it's a little too early for her to go live. So, let me see. Who is online? Nope. Thought so, but I wanted to check anyway. So, yeah. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with me. Thanks for being here. And like always, before I do anything, first of all, I'm going to save. And second of all, we're just going to hang out on the credits for a second because, God, this cast is so fucking good. And yeah, we're going to do this every time. Go fuck yourself. But not really. Like, this cast is so good. Seriously. Stan, for real, the way that Adder's lines are in this part. Oh my God, you fucking killed it. Adder is such, like, he's so goofy on the surface, and, like, he really comes off, like, the big himbo energy, but to me, like, Elbar is more of an actual himbo. Adder is just, it's a front, right? Like, he's got a lot going on underneath. And he's such a good boy, and I just love him. Like, out of all the characters in this game, I think Adder is my favorite character. And Stan is just so good at bringing all this to life. Like, holy shit. I've really been missing Melody as Sep. I miss her voice so much. She's so good. Oh, yeah, I wanted to look at if that one Barhan lady was in here. Oh, I liked Moo's voice a lot. Zane, Shach? Is that how you say it? Obligatory shout out to Tom. We love Tom in this house. Where are you? I didn't know Brandon Acosta was in this. Hello? What's up, Brandon? Oh, it was Moswen. Maganda Marie. Lovely voice. Gosh, there's so many, like, so much talent in here. And, like, friends. Like, that, like, I mean, we've been interacting in the same circles for forever. There's Pavle, Belle, like, ugh. Abigail. Isn't Cal in here? I I thought I saw that Cal was in. Yeah, Calvin! We love Calvin in this house. But yeah, like, everybody is so good. Everybody is so talented. Love them. And yeah, I will be back in a little bit. Hopefully. Let's say, I don't know, check back around like 1 or 2. It's 11 right now, for reference. And if I'm not here, sorry, but I intend to be back around that time. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Okay, bye.